pocket. Because my back might be hurt, but I know how to climb on top of that and hit you with a Macho Man elbow drop, though. Yeah.
Talking to you.
Yeah, I know Soraya Muffin no better. Ain't that right? Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's pick us up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writing, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise of Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's get back to it. Hosea 2 and 14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her vineyards from thence in the valley of Achor for the door of hope. And she shall sing there as in the days of her youth, as in the days when she came up out of the land of Mizraim. And it shall be at that day, saith Yahuwah, you shall call me Ishi, and you shall call me no more Belai. For I'll take away the names of Balaam out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. And in that day, I will make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of Shamayim and the creeping things of the ground. And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and I will make them to lie down safely. And I will betroth you unto me forever. I will betroth you unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercies. I will even betroth you unto me in faithfulness, and you shall know Yahuwah. Shalom, Quran, man. Yahuwah Baruch, my G. Shalom, brother Ernest, man. Amen, man. Check it. So, you know, this is what we've been wrong. Dang, I had something in my mind. I don't forgot just that fast. Lord have mercy. But listen, we've been dealing with this part. I think we didn't finish one of the double back parts that I want to deal with. So let's do this. We ended at Jeremiah 3 somewhere, right, last night, right? Go to Jeremiah 3 and 12 again. What's happening with your Tavon, man? Why you walking late into my classroom and then washing out cups, disturbing the ambiance of the room? What you got to say for yourself? That you're sorry. That's what you got to say. No, you don't be sorry. Be better. I didn't say I was sorry. You did say you're sorry. Say something now. Oh, hey, I'm going to show you a week. Ain't no kindness. Yeah. Yeah. Send you to that damn park on your shirt. Let them deal with you. Jeremiah 3 and 12.
Say, go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return you, backsliding Yasharal, saith Yahuwah.
Shalom, mother.
I will not cause my anger to fall
upon you. What's good,
though? For I am merciful, saith Yahuwah, and I will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge your iniquity that you have transgressed against Yahuwah your Elohim, and have scattered your ways to the strangers under every green tree, and you have not obeyed my voice, saith Yahuwah. Turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahuwah, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city, two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion.
Now remember, right, we talking about we isolating and specifying what he said he would betroth you unto him: righteousness, judgment, loving kindness, mercy, faithfulness. But we got to show how we get to that point. Go ahead.
And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
What else?
And it shall come to pass when you be multiplied.
Oh, there it is. He said he'll give you what?
Pastors according to my heart.
They're gonna do what?
Feed you with knowledge and understanding.
Shalom, man. Shalom, Mother Robert. Knowledge and understanding. This is the key point, right? If you're going to be betrothed, you would need proper knowledge and understanding. Now, we read it earlier because we start every time with it. Go back to John chapter 5, verse 42, though. Eric, what's happening, man?
Say, but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming in my Abba's name. And you
come in my what?
My Abba's name.
And you what?
Receive me not.
If another
shall come in his own name,
him,
you will receive.
Exodus 34 and 6. Let's rehash and recap what that means to come in his father's name. What does that look like? Y'all know what that look like.
And Yahuwah passed by him and proclaimed, Yahuwah Elohim, merciful and gracious.
Merciful and what?
And gracious.
So that's one of the aspects of coming in his name. What's the next one?
Long suffering.
What's the next one?
And abundant in goodness and truth.
What's the next one?
Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin.
And by no means
clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children.
Oh, that's
children.
what I had. Praise God. That's what I had in my mind. Tell them what goodness is by definition there, if you would, please, good sir. You ain't playing hooky this week, huh? What you been doing with my godson? Y'all been around here skipping school, smoking cigarettes. In the boys' room. You know about that song? You don't know about that?
That's said. That's goodness, kindness, faithfulness.
So I just want you to know that he said he's abundant in kindness. He's abundant in faithfulness. You know what I mean? So this would be for a particular aspect, because this is what I had in my mind. I want you to go to 1 John chapter 4 and tell me what verse 14 says. See, he got a powerhouse gym shirt on. He don't even go to the gym. He don't even go to the gym.
Sponsor.
They ain't even got no powerhouse no more. It's cute. You know what I'm talking about? Ask him the last time he went in there. When the last time you went in there?
In the gym?
Nah, nigga, the bathroom.
Yesterday.
You ain't going there yesterday, nigga. You ain't never did no shoulder press.
I shed my fitness athlete.
Man, that junk doctor. What you went in there and did? See how you be lying? Full body is crazy. Come on, man.
What verse you said?
1 John 4:14. Tell me what that says.
It said, we have seen and do testify that the Abba have sent the Son to be the Savior of the world. Whosoever shall confess that Yahushua is the Son.
Tell me what verse 5 says, man. I think I'm past what I want. I don't feel like flipping, but I think that's what it means. What's up, boy?
Say, they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world.
Just don't give them 4. That's even better.
You are of Elohim, little children.
That's right.
And have overcome them, because greater is he.
Overcoming is getting the victory. So greater is he
that is in you
than he
that is in the world.
That's something that you have to remember. Remember what world mean by definition? That's somebody who is hostile to the cause and purpose of a Mashiach. This is someone who is, as Paul put it in Philippians, an enemy of the state. What does that mean to be an enemy of the state, Sidney? Not an enemy of the state, no. Of the state. You seen that movie? That movie sucked. Not real. You know what that means?
Be an enemy of the state.
Be an enemy of the cross.
To oppose it.
Not an enemy of authority. They're an enemy of self-denial. They're an enemy of suffering. They're an enemy of sacrifice. Anybody who is an enemy of the state, they're an enemy. Get it for them. Philippians 3:14. That's how you have to look at it, because that's what they're an enemy of. When you look at him coming at the scribes and the Pharisees, they didn't want to give nothing up. You know what I'm saying?
You say, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of Elohim and Mashiach Yahushua.
What up?
Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded.
That's
and
right.
If in anything you be otherwise minded, Elohim shall reveal even this unto you.
What up?
Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule. Let
Peace,
us mind
Joseph,
the
man.
same thing. Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which so walk as you have us for an ensample.
Well, you remember what Mark meant without looking? Because I don't. Not really. Remember what he mean to Markham? Tell him what it meant, man. Markham don't mean necessarily, hey, look at this person over here. It's to acknowledge them, if you will.
That's scopeo, that is to take aim at, that is to regard, consider, to take heed, to look at on.
Yeah.
Mark.
You mark him, you take heed and consider he on a different type of time, and you adjust on how you deal with him. Read it again.
Say, brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as you have us for an ensample. For many walk of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Mashiach.
They say they're enemies of it. Why are they enemies of it? He finna tell you.
Whose end is destruction, whose Elohim is their belly.
Boom. They God is their what?
Is their belly.
Who mine?
And whose esteem is in their shame, who mind earthly things.
Now, what does that mean, Civic, that they God is their belly? I gotta make sure y'all remember.
Their own desire.
Correct. And that's what he cursed the serpent to go on his belly. So they mind their own desires. Or like I say in Corinthians, meats for the belly, belly for the meats. Your desires is what rule you. This is why they enemies of the state. Now, also being an enemy of the state, because also he said, greater love have no man in this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. These are people who are enemies of what we heard in Exodus 34, which we get into in 1 John 4. They ain't got no love in them. Which was what was in my mind from 1 Corinthians 11 in regards to when he said, I'm going to betroth you to me in loving kindness, righteousness, faithfulness, and mercies. All of that is in the aspect of contained with love. And that's what we ended with last night, was specifically was Matthew 5. When we were talking about loving your enemies, when this man say, when you were enemies, this man died for you. So we kind of drift away from that aspect of, oh, you was his enemy at one point also. You remember what we read in Chronicles?
Mm-hmm.
What we read in Chronicles then?
How can you love them that hate you?
That's what he said to Jehoshaphat. How can you help the ungodly and love those who hate you? He said, and what was going to be on him?
Wrath.
And then that's the testimony fulfillment, because the wrath of the Father was on the Son because he loved those who hated Yahuwah. You know what I'm talking about? It's for fulfilling his witness, because he did that. He came and helped the ungodly. Because matter of fact, my homeboy sent me this video because my homegirl be talking about that particular passage. You ever heard of the Ezra Kenegdo? Well, the Kenegdo part ain't there, but it's really talking about how a woman has helped me. Now, but when you'll see certain aspects, you know, the word is ain't the word is in my brain, and I done forgot it. Just that fast. Hold on. Who just asked, do you love your wife? Do you love yours, nigga? Scoot behind junk like that, nigga.
That's the question.
Shoot. If I ain't love her, she wouldn't be in my house, I tell you that.
Trying to check your temperature.
Shoot, no, he need to take his own temperature. Because for me, that don't make no sense to have somebody in your house you don't love. I ain't
Do it all the time.
I ain't finna do it. Ezra. I just said it too much. But you know, when you see Ezra used in contrast with Yahuwah, it's a different context. It's not the same as the context that say with your wife. You know what I'm saying? The level of strength and help that he gives, your wife not giving you that. You know what I'm saying? It's a different scenario. But, you know, we didn't talk about that before. Sometimes people be forgetting that Hebrew words can have multiple different meanings and the context can shift depending on how it's being used. You know what I'm saying? Some people like to just take it as a blanket all the way across the board. You know what I'm saying? You can't necessarily do that. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, go ahead.
For our Philippians 3.
Go ahead. Read 17 again.
Hey, brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as you have us for an example. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the stake of Mashiach.
Go ahead.
Whose end is destruction, whose Elohim is their belly.
Who mind earthly
whose
things.
esteem is in their shame, who mind earthly things. For our conduct is in Shamaim, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach.
And you have to look at that. That's why he say, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Shalom, brother Martha, man. Because your esteem and your desires are in a different place. You understand what I'm saying? Like, somebody who is in the world, their desires is completely to, whatever it is that they want to do. You know what I'm talking about? They don't care about nothing other than that. Back to 1 John 4:4.
It say you are of Elohim, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than
and
he that is
because
in
the word
world.
is in you, this is how you get the victory. And who is he that overcome the world? But he that believed that Yahushua HaMashiach is the son of Elohim, right? But how do you believe he the son of Elohim, Sid? So when you believe on him as the scripture has said, that's how you get the victory. You know what I'm saying? The victory is obtained through faith in the word. That's what it's saying. They get mad when you tell people that. They say that sounds like you talking about a Christian person. That nigga going to hell. You know what I'm talking about? Because that means you don't even believe. I told you, man, we were talking, dudes say, would you do this if you found out you wasn't an Israelite? I say, shoot, you don't want to do it now. You know what I'm talking about? Because if that's all it took for you to put the book down, shoot. You ain't never, this ain't what you want to do. I'm like, well, the fact y'all even asked that asinine question is amazing to me. Shalom, Jay. But people ask it and be dead serious about it. But it's also based on how they talk. But that's another conversation for another day. Go ahead. Man.
Say they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world.
They are the what?
Of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world hear them.
See, pause. Now, of course, you know the Lord told you, he that is of Elohim what? He said, you hear them not because you're not a God. You know what I'm talking about? So when he say when they speak of the world gonna hear them because the conversation, read world definition again. What's up, what? You got a bear in your pocket.
That is cosmos, an apt and harmonious arrangement or constitution, order of government, the world, the universe, the circle of the earth.
It is, Joseph.
The inhabitants of the earth, men, the human family, the ungodly multitude.
Boom. The what multitude?
The ungodly multitude.
So when the ungodly multitude speak, the ungodly multitude is going to hear them. Go ahead.
So the whole mass of men alienated from Elohim and therefore hostile to the cause of Mashiach.
Now, once you separated from God, now you hostile to the cause of God. Whether you go back and you see that in the law, you see that straight with Cain. Because he was alienated from God and therefore he was hostile. Because he said, why your countenance falling? What you looking ugly for? Now you want to kill your brother because you were separated from God. But why was he separated from God? Because his works were evil. Hey man, don't come over here with that. Don't come over here with that. But you too big to be doing all that, man. You acting like you at a funeral. You crying like you at one too. Go ahead.
We got world affairs, the aggregate of things earthly, the whole circle of earthly goods, endowments, riches, advantages, pleasures.
See, now notice that. Now you speaking on the advantages and pleasures of the world and the riches of the world. And he told you don't sow your seed amongst the what, Sippy? Amongst the thorns, because when you do that, what happens? You get caught up with the cares and affairs of this life and the deceitfulness of riches. And what happened to that seed? It choke it off. And then when it choke it off, guess what it can't do? Can't produce no fruit. That means it ain't gonna be no peace, no joy, no long suffering, no gentleness, no goodness, no meekness, no self-control, no none of that. And if you ain't producing none of that, guess what you producing, Sid? Not a damn thing. And what he said, what happened to that fig tree when he seen it?
Cut it down.
Cut it down. You say, what would you say if y'all give you a wicked heart from the start? Shalom, brother Mike, man, that you never had a chance. Interesting you asked that. Psalms 58:1. We had that conversation about a couple weeks ago on Clubhouse, man.
Say, do you indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do you judge uprightly, O you sons of men? Yea, in heart you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands and your rats. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
They are estranged from the womb?
From the womb.
Tell him what estranged means. He said the wicked is estranged from the womb. Oh, you were crying real tears. You were really upset, huh?
That's Zor. To be strange, to be a stranger, to become a strange. Foreigner, loathsome, strange woman.
Say your mama can't accept it.
To be a stranger, to be one alienated.
So this is somebody separated from God. He said from the womb. Now, where you got an example of that?
Jacob and Esau.
Yeah, Esau was estranged from the womb. You know what I'm talking about? How we know he was estranged from the womb?
I was thinking about the prophet. He said, Jacob, I love you. Esau,
that too. But you also got something else. For Esau despised his birthright. You know what I'm saying? What is the birthright? That's the right of the firstborn. That which comes from God, he despised that. He didn't come from a household where he was being taught to despise that. His father feared God. You know what I'm talking about? And kept his guard and instructions. You know what I'm saying? She still is a choice. And I could understand why she would look at it that way, because to an extent it is a choice and to an extent it is a gift. But also a lot of the things, Shalom, Brother Shaul, it's giving you over to the mind that you already have. You know what I'm saying? Because they know in Proverbs they tell you, you know, a child is known by his doings, whether he be good or whether he be, you know what I'm saying? So the mind you got is the mind you got. And like you said, some people are alienated or they're hostile to the word. some people just hostile to certain things because it doesn't jive with the desire that they have. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't necessarily, when people hear desires, they go to thinking about a sexual nature, but you just don't have a ready heart and a willing mind. What do you say, Quran? He was striving with his brother in the womb, and that's another part because you see the child of the promise contending with the child of the flesh. He was fighting with him. They in there striving. You know what I'm saying? Which goes back to what's in Galatians. It's conflict, abomination. The just is an abomination to the unjust, and vice versa. You know what I'm talking about? But go ahead and read that definition for alienated one more time for me, sir.
Strange is or to be strange, to be a stranger, to become estranged.
So, or to become estranged. So not only are they estranged, but not over time, they separate themselves. You know what I'm saying? Say, where is that line, though? He give you your desires, because that's what you want. You want your desires more than you want him, so he give you what you want. For lack of a better example, it's what you do, man. If you're dealing with a woman and she want to be a hoe, then go out here and be a hoe. I'm not finna try to keep you caged in, baby. Stand up and let your hair down, baby. You know what I'm talking about? And walk out the door and go be the hoe you were born to be. I ain't finna stop you. And that's how he operate with it. Okay, you want to be an idolater? You want to be a murderer? You want to be a fornicator? Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you be that because you have such a burning desire to do it. See, what that means is that some people restrict their desires not because they want to cease from the sin, but because they feel like they're in a situation where they can't act on it. You know what I'm saying? But really, that's what they want to do. Their mind has stayed on it 24/7. They consume with it. Shalom, Brother Craig, man. He said, does Benjamin name changed by Jacob relate to his adoption to the promise? More so because Benjamin already in the promise. More so the facilitation of what happens when you die. But we can look at that because his name started off as son of my sorrows, which of course, he was exceedingly sorrowful unto death. And this was the child that Rachel was having as she passed away. So from that sorrow, you get birthed into life or becoming the son of God and sit at his right hand. You know what I'm talking about? Or as he said, he that overcome can sit down with me in my throne as I'm sat down in my Abba's throne. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. Oh my God. Yes, he was. Y'all got to bear with me, man. My back hurt. I think I hurt my back overcompensating the way I stepped on that nail. What was that? Yeah, man, Oh, no, what I'm talking about is because how the nail hit right under the joint of where the big toe is. So when I stepped down, that's where all the weight at. And so overcompensation with that caused a little back pain on my left side of my back. No, it'll go away. It's temporary. It wasn't like I had back pain before I did that. See, now I can walk correctly again. You just want a man to touch on me, huh? That's what you want? If you seriously impressed about it, you let him touch you? Ain't nothing you saying convincing. And not because it's him. Right now, it sounds weak. It sounds like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm not an elder, sir. I'm only 45. I'm gonna put you a double grandpa. Yeah, I mean, what's up, this nigga, man? It's a fresh one, man. I got 15 years for that, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You moving ahead of the time. You're not going according to the due order of things, good brother. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to make me old, man. God damn. I'm about the same age as Tom Brady. You gonna call him an elder? Yeah. That nigga ain't no elder. That nigga young. That nigga like 41. He an elder for basketball. You know 23 years doing anything, boy, you're expert. They expertly want him to get the hell out of the way, too. I can't say I blame him. I seen somebody come out, they should get that man a max contract. I say, for what? I wouldn't give no 40-year-old man no max contract.
You get a max.
Shoot, somebody told me he should have took them 52 million. I said, who gonna turn down 52 million? And all I gotta do is say I'm opting in. You finna get my money. You could say you could trade me wherever you want to trade me, but them checks gonna clear though. I need all 52 of mine. What he say it's my money, and I want it now. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about he should have took less money. Take less money for what? Man, that's the only place. I know why they say that stuff, right? Because them white folks be mad that them brothers be getting that bread. And you be feeling like, well, the white man took less. Well, that's his business. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Family Dollar. I don't give discount. I need all mine. Go ahead, man. 1 John what? Oh, no, finish reading Psalm 58. I'm sorry.
Say the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
He said, as soon as they be born, they go astray. Now, obviously, they not born telling lies. They can't even talk. You know what I'm saying? But the point of the matter is they already have a heart that's hostile to God. Let me tell you something, man. Most people who live, shalom, Brother Marvin, man. You can see how that plays out with Saul then becoming Paul. Yeah, man, shalom, East, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at it this way, right? Like, case in point, he gave Saul for an example. He didn't know. But his heart wasn't estranged and hostile towards God. He wasn't persecuting the saints because he hated God. He was persecuting them because he did not know the testimony. So he sincerely believed that these people were blasphemers. You know what I'm saying? That's why he said he did it in ignorance and unbelief. He did not know. But then you have some individuals, say Cain is an example. He was estranged from God from the womb. Because the minute something didn't go his way, he shown what was in his heart, that not only was he hostile towards his brother, but he was hostile to who he served. Remember what he tell you in Thessalonians, right? He that despise not who? He despised not man, but God. So this is what it's talking about when you're seeing somebody's estranged from the womb. Because most of us, you wasn't raised in no word. Now, of course, you lived according to what you knew at that particular time, but that don't mean you were separated from God your entire life because you didn't know. Now, they're referencing people from Psalms 58. These people knew the word. They raised in it. They taught it. They heard it. And they separated from him even with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, for most of us, your children may be the case, but that's not the case for us when in your adolescence and childhood and upbringing. You was living however your parents lived. Like my people ain't never talked about no Bible. None, ever. There wasn't no conversation. Come sit us, read your prayers and read. No, nothing never happened. You know what I'm talking about? So how could you necessarily be estranged? Then take the word out of everybody in here know a nigga like, boy, that nigga been evil. Since you know him. I'm talking about since middle school. Since elementary school. If you're man, I'm talking about since high school, like, yeah, boy, I don't, you know, cuz cool, but yeah, that boy on some other type of time. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, the reality is depending where you come from, you either know or know of a murderer, and you knew he was a murderer and been one. Just never had the opportunity to act on it until he did, and then he didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? You got some women you grew up with, they been hoes. And they wasn't no hoe because somebody touched on them. It wasn't no hoe because somebody neglected them. They just were overrun with that desire. And when they had the opportunity to act on it, they acted on it. And then they like, I don't need no God, you know, I'm spiritual. She in the room playing with hot stones and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that's going to help her feel better about being a hoe. You still a hoe. Just like that dude around here thinking you still a killer. You still a liar. You still a thief. And you been like that. What do you say about Judas? Amen, Joseph. Joseph say the Lord's mercy is based on that ignorance. Our empathy is for those who don't know and understand, which is why the writer of Hebrews said, who can have compassion on those who are ignorant and out of the way? You know what I'm saying? And that's an attribute of Yahuwah, because he said he's abundant in goodness and truth, or kindness, which is having compassion. A lot of people who be in the word, they don't have compassion on people who don't know because you're assuming they should know. You remember that time, John, you told me a couple years back, man, when you like your homeboy was out there talking to IUIC, man? And I pulled up on them boys because I know some of them boys who be out there with the main dudes. And I would tell them a dog who I knew, like, yo, why y'all standing in front of Winn Dixie? Yeah, these people about breaking the Sabbath, blood. He like, man, they gotta. I say, did it ever cross your mind? Don't none of these people know that? I said, how you think that? I said, you wonder why these people are hostile towards you because you're chastising them about something as if they knew it. As if they were aware that they were purposely and inherently being defiant. I said, man, most of these people don't even know nothing about no Sabbath, bro. I said, nigga, I ain't know nothing about no Sabbath. I knew what it was. It wasn't relevant to me. If you would have said, you're supposed to keep the Sabbath, my first question would have been, what is that? What you mean by that? What does that entail? What does that look like? So you're talking to ignorant people, but you're not communicating to them in that fashion because there's no compassion contained in boom. And that shows you how there's no compassion in the law because it was never supposed to be. It's strictly instructions. Instructions don't have room for compassion. It's either right or wrong. But see, with Yahuwah, there's room for mercy, grace, and compassion. And that's what Paul was really communicating in all them letters. And it'd be hard for people to understand that. Because as we were talking about last night, people don't come from loving environments. You know what I'm saying? Or most people, they never had nobody give no compassion to them. Well, we didn't tell you this before, right? What that is, Psalms 18, you ain't got to go to it. What he say, he showed himself merciful to the merciful. But see, it's easy for somebody to, why it was easy for David to show mercy on people? Because mercy had been shown on him by others. So when you in a situation where you need mercy and somebody give mercy to you, it should be easy for you to extend it because you would know what it's like to need it and then somebody gave it. Or when you needed compassion and somebody did the same. A lot of people needed compassion in their life and nobody gave it to them. So when they come across somebody, they don't have the capacity to give it. You know what I mean? Like, you can be like, man, that nigga be all right. That nigga really need a hug, though. You know what I'm saying? He really needs somebody to relate to what he's going through. You know what I'm saying? He really needed somebody to walk with him and make that pain a little easier to deal with. But since ain't nobody do it for you, you don't have the capacity to do that. That doesn't make that person bad per se, but it's you look in the word, man. A lot of these boys don't want to show compassion to nobody until till they in a sin. You know what I'm talking about? Then they want where the mercy at, bro. Now nobody want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't have it for this person over here. You only got it for your friends. You're supposed to have it for everybody. Because we were discussing that yesterday. They brought up the woman in adultery. They always bring up the piss pole point. What I told you the other day. They ain't bring the man. No matter if they brought the man or not. You getting condemned for a sin is not contingent if they brought your co-defendant. She's still wrong. But that wasn't the point. They were thinking he did that because they didn't bring the man. I said, that's how I know you niggas don't know God. That's how I know you stupid. Because this woman is condemned. She dead to the right. And what did he do? What he said?
No more.
Not only that.
Oh, no man condemn you, neither do I.
But none of that. He said, if any of y'all got some sin, cast a stone then. And I told him, I say, bro, y'all know the verse. If the Lord would mark iniquity, who should stand? He said, but there's forgiveness with him, that he might be feared. I say, y'all thought it was about the man and not about the mercy of God. You dumb. You don't know God because you missed that. Because you thought they didn't bring the man. That's why he ain't stoned her. And literally, he mentioned what you just said. He said, no man condemn you. She said, no, Lord. That's what none of these men condemn you. So he said, guess what? He said he ain't going to do. I ain't going to do it. So guess what he just did? Forgave sin, iniquity, and transgression. That's literally what he just did. What did he literally do? Show abundant kindness. That's about what he betrothed you in. Now, guess what should she be able to do? I'm going to love this man forever. Because he could have killed me, and he didn't. Remember the parable with the talents? What he said, man? No, I'm talking about what he asked Peter in Luke 7, because we looked at it the other week.
He said, if one owed 50, another owed 500, he went to forgave them both who
would love him the most. He said the one who forgave the most. He said, what? You've rightly judged. You know what I'm saying? So in that instance, he done forgave what you just did. You should love this man immensely because he spared your life and he ain't have to. That's really what's supposed to be derived from that. But it's never extracted because you want to focus on them. They didn't bring the man. So what? It wasn't about the man or the woman. It was about God. It was about him. It was about mercy and compassion being extended when you in the midst of a sin and you dead to the right. And they never catch it. Yeah, we talked about that last night, Jessica. Adam's actions was an act of compassion, what he did for his wife, and then what Yahuwah did, because remember, he could have killed Adam right then. But instead, he took the garment that he tried to cover his sin up with and made his own garment and covered it up. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? He by no means cleared the guilty, did it? Because he cursed him and he put him out. But he ain't kill him. You know what I'm saying? See, don't look at the fact that he died later. Because he said you gonna die. He could have killed him right then. He said, oh, you done sinned? You dead. I make another man from the dust of the earth do it all over again. But he didn't do that. He said, you know what? You're going to work from the to the sweat of your brow. Dust you come from. Dust you going to return. Ma'am, you're going to have pain in childbirth. Your desire going to be to your husband. Little serpent boy, you're going to go on your belly. You know what I'm talking about? But hold on. Let me make these coats of skin for you and your wife because I'm going to cover your sin. You tried to cover your shame. Because remember, he said they were naked and they were ashamed and they covered it. He said, don't worry about that. I'll take your covering that you tried to cover your sin with and I'll cover it. You know what I'm saying? Which is coming back to what Yahushua will do later. You got the shame of sin. Don't worry about it. I got something I'm going to cover. Once he covered it, then he, boom, booted him out. So he by no means, he said he forgave the sin. He just by no means cleared the guilty. Did exactly what he said he would do. You know what I'm talking about? And that's an example of his love and compassion because he could have killed them right there. Nobody pays attention to that. Just like I seen people arguing what Adam should have did this for his wife. Adam shouldn't have did nothing but what he did because that woman should have obeyed the word. We don't know what Adam did. You don't know where Adam was at. People just assume he was standing right there. Don't say where he was at. And it wouldn't matter if he was sitting on her back. He's not responsible for her behavior, just like she's not responsible for his behavior. You can't stop nobody from sinning, and you can't make nobody obey. You can't make nobody do nothing. You can't make your wife do nothing. You can't make your kids do nothing. You can't make your friends do nothing. Them people got to make that decision for themselves. They either gonna do it or they're not. I don't know where people get that from. I'm not responsible for the choice my wife makes, and she ain't responsible for none that I make. Guess who's responsible for it? You. But what people like to do is take away accountability and play the victim. You're not a victim to a situation or circumstance you put yourself in. Nobody victimized you. You know who the only person victimized you? Your lust. That's it. Where we at with it, brother?
Go with Psalm 58.
Read it again.
Say the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Mm-hmm.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They're like the deaf adder that stopped her ear.
My God, today.
Which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Break their teeth a while they him in their mouth. Break out the great
That's
teeth.
Good. What was that before that? Oh, that's because Brian asked about that. 1 John 4. Because yeah, we were talking about that earlier because I was listening to dude talk about, why he thought Puff got off. And I told him, man, I say, man, so on the sex trafficking charges, he had to get off because people didn't believe them women were forced, threatened, or coerced. Whether we believe they were threatened, forced, or coerced is irrelevant because you wasn't in the jury. But obviously, them people didn't believe that. You know what I'm saying? And now some of those things, as harsh as we might want to look at some things and I told you differently, some things you got to look at, you got to be careful about when you're willing to do X, Y, Z for fame and fortune. And then when stuff don't go your way, you want to play the victim. Some people are not going to go for that. And some people will. And that's not to say that the person may or may not have been victimized. But one thing you can't have is text messages saying, I can't wait to freak off. And then expect somebody to say, oh, you're being threatened or forced. But again, that doesn't negate that they could have been threatened. Of course, I told you could have been with it 105 times. And on 106, say, nah, I ain't with it. And if a nigga threaten you or defraud you, that's a crime. But when you're dealing with a jury, they may not believe you. Do you know what I'm saying? And that junk just is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? But a lot of stuff, people put themselves in a position because they're willing to do some strange things for some fame. Bump the change, some fame. Some people willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? Some people willing to do that for a lot of money. You know she getting sued, ain't it? They say one of the prostitutes suing her. No, I'm dead serious. One of the prostitutes is suing her. It's because it keep coming up because the misnomer is that he was flying women out. He was not flying women out. He was flying men to bang his women and maybe him. Now, I will say this here. This is probably the first time you'll see somebody get brought up on a pimping charge and he the trick. No, seriously though. Because the engaging in prostitution, you know the other name for that? It's called the Mann Act, a.k.a. white slavery. You know who I told you that? No, that wasn't y'all. Y'all know who they came up with the Mann Act for, right? They came up for that charge for one particular black man in the early 1900s. You know about it?
Is it Bumpy Johnson?
No. Bumpy, man. Bumpy ain't had no home. Not the white one. That man married to a black woman. Yeah. He must have Googled it.
You must have said it earlier. I heard somebody say it.
That might have been me. I think I said it earlier. But Jack Johnson, the boxer, he liked white women. You know what I'm saying? So the Mann Act is named after the congressman who came up with it, but it's called white slavery. You know what I'm saying? It's a pimping charge. And some people don't understand that the feds don't deal with prostitution because prostitution is a misdemeanor in all 50 states. Like if a woman get caught for selling her body, that is a misdemeanor. Now pandering, which is another word for pimping, at least in Florida, I believe it's a misdemeanor. You know what I'm saying? What the feds get involved at is when you crossing state lines. You know what I'm saying? That's where they get involved at. So he wasn't, it's literally for pimping. He wasn't pimping. He was tricking. And he was doing a different type of, he was cup tricking at that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, this is old lady. So he was paying to watch his old lady have sex with another man. So not only was he tricking, he was getting cupped. He was voluntarily paying to do this. You know what I'm saying? So also when you explain those charges to people, some people are going to find that hard to incarcerate someone for tricking. Now, I think I told you this other day, whether how strong do you think the RICO was, his biggest mistake was using his company money to pay for his activities. That opens the door for them to come at you and say, this is a criminal enterprise. Because usually if you're running a criminal enterprise, you need one thing, and that's making money. But he's not making money. You know what I'm saying? So some people are going to find that hard. RICO charges are hard to convict somebody anyway. You know what I'm saying? Very difficult. I just know that from studying the mob all my life. A lot of mobsters done got off on RICOs. You know what I'm saying? John Gotti beat 3 of them. His brother had 5 mistrials. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real. I've seen stronger RICO cases in my life that people done walked away from. You know what I'm saying? Than his. You know what I'm talking about? But like we talked the other day, does that change the fact that this nigga's a degenerate? It sure don't. And I told you the other day, you got grown men who say they godly men taking up for this nigga. That tell you everything you need to know about him. Because it even shouldn't. He do scream God law. This man in violation of multiple God law. This man like hot dogs in his buns. How you gonna take up for this man? This man gay. This man having running trains. You remember what Amos say about running a train? Say you done defiled my name by going into a woman and her daughter. You know what I'm saying? That man don't stamp that. So you got to be indifferent about that type of stuff, man. Don't let because somebody rich and famous and they black mean something. Man, this man will sodomize you, boy. I ain't saying that to be funny. I told you I didn't even know about the producer dude. So I seen somebody make a video the other day who sued him. Man, what he at? You know the little black producer dude that's suing? What's his name? Say he made him have sex with him when he. I don't know how a grown man make you have sex with him. That's a heck of a name. Lil Rod. You know what I'm saying? How a grown man make you do that? But I will say this here. Somebody would look at that and be like, nah, he was with it. But man, you niggas scream Holly weird and all this other stuff they got going on to the entertainer you like. When he black. What's the first? What about the white men who doing it? I don't know nothing about no, I ain't white, so that's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? We love to scream what about white people do. I don't care what white people doing. We talking about what this nigga doing. And that nigga gay. It's funny how they got all smoke for homosexuals till they got some money. Then they ain't got no smoke for him. That nigga gay. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga gay. That's all I got to say about that. That nigga ain't just gay. That nigga is a sidewalk sissy. Go ahead, buddy.
1 John 4 and 5.
Go ahead.
Say, they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world hear them. We are of Elohim. He that know Elohim, hear us. He that is not of Elohim, hear not us. Hereby know we the rock of truth,
that's
the
right.
rock of error.
Go ahead.
Beloved, let us love one another.
Let us what?
Love one another.
With what?
For love is of Elohim.
Love is of what?
It's of Elohim.
What else?
And everyone that love is born of Elohim.
Everyone that what?
Everyone that love is born of Elohim.
Pause. Now, why does that? He say everyone that love is what?
Born of Elohim.
Now let's take a trip. Luke 8 and 10. After that, 1 Peter 1 and 20. Still your big grown behind drinking on a bottle. Man, why you want to let the man be hungry, man? Shoot, not the way he shook his hands. That boy looked genuinely perturbed. Boy look like he wanted to shoot your fade. Boy, you better go to the gym. And if you got two of them too, them they gonna jump you. I don't know if your hands up to date. Better keep them up to date. I just watched Rampage Jackson square out with his son. Mm-hmm. I ain't worried about him. I'd probably be dead before he tried me. Don't get ready for it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about it. You're going to get young man abuse. That's a shame you're going to have domestic violence charge against your sons, man.
One call away, man.
Oh, shoot. I might as well just go ahead and take that whooping then. I got to call you because you ain't finna get no help. I'm going to just be whooped then. Hey.
You get right there with both y'all.
That boy be in the gym pump faking, man. We ain't finna win, man. That boy don't even look like his footwork right. Yes, man. That boy look like his footwork ain't right. Go ahead, bro.
And he said unto you, it is given to know the mysteries of the Malkufa Elohim, but to others in parables, that seeing they might not see, and hearing they might not understand.
Mm-hmm.
Now the parable is this.
What's that parable?
The seed is the word of Elohim.
Pause. Now remember what a parable is. That's a dog saying, or a proverb, which means the testimony of Yahushua is the Ruach of prophecy. And he said the parable is what?
The seed is the word of Elohim.
So the seed is the word. So in that parable of the sower, each time you see that seed is representative of the word. Now, 1 Peter 1 and 20. Now let's see what type of seed he said you got to be born of. Shalom, Mika.
Say who truly was foreordained before the foundation of the world.
That's right.
But was manifest in the last
Shalom,
in these last times for you.
Mm-hmm.
Who by him do believe in Elohim that raised them up from the dead. Gave him esteem that your faith and hope might be in Elohim.
Faith and hope might be in who?
In Elohim.
What else?
Seeing you have purified your souls and obeying the truth through the Ruach unto unfeigned love of the brethren.
Unfeigned what?
Love of the brethren.
There can't be no fake love because Yahuwah don't got no fake love. If he love you, then he love you. If he don't fool with you, then he don't fool with you. Ain't no in between. Go ahead.
See that you love one another with a pure heart fervently.
With a what?
with a pure heart, fervently.
What else?
Being born again.
Hold on, there we go. Being born of what?
Being born again.
Not of
corruptible seed,
but of
incorruptible,
which is
by the word of Elohim, which live and abide forever.
So when you look at being born again is not being born of the seed that came out of your father's loins, but being born of the seed that comes of the word. So when you born of the word, there's a difference. That's why he say those that are born of God are loved. Why is that important? Because what we read in Exodus 34, when he declared his name, because the essence of the word is all those things that are in his name. So when you look at I come in my Abba's name, it's not coming in the name of Yahuwah. It's not coming in the tetragrammaton. It's coming in mercy, grace, long suffering, goodness, truth, showing mercy on the thousands and being forgiven. That's why he said Elohim is love, because these are the attributes that he possesses. So when you look at Mashiach, when he was moving, you see how he came in his father's name. And that's why he said, you don't know him. Because when they saw him exhibited, case in point, when the woman got healed, these men rebuked him. This is evident that, oh, you don't know God. Because if you knew God, you wouldn't have said nothing. Case in point, when he sat down with Mary, when she washed his feet. Remember we read a couple weeks ago what they said, if he knew what manner of woman this was, he wouldn't let her touch her because she is sin. You don't know God because he's what? He said he's merciful. He's forgiving. You wouldn't have said that. When he told the man, take up his bed and walk, if you knew God, you wouldn't have said that. So when he say he came into his own and his own knew him not, when you look at Yada, they don't know Yahuwah from experience. So therefore, how could they know him when they actually seen the behavior of their God being exhibited in their face? Because you know what they were looking for? He don't eat pork. Nigga, shoot. Muslims don't eat pork, nigga. It's an atheist right now don't eat pork. Does that mean he know God? No, it don't. You got Catholic churches that feed the Pope, clothe people, give them money for rent. Does that mean they know God? Shalom, Sister Rose. No, it don't. It don't. And this is why you hear some people say, who say they be of the Israelite persuasion and say they would rather go to the Christian church because of how them people treat each other. Now, whether that's the case or not, I can't speak to that. Only those of you who had that experience can speak to that, because I cannot. You know what I'm talking about? But I can understand why somebody would say that based on how niggas in the word treat each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what he means. I come in my Father's name and they receive me not, because they don't know him. Read that for him. John 17 and 20. The reason why I said it, because I know that's how people, I get it, right? You don't know, most people don't know the name of God per se, don't know what it looked like. So they feel like, okay, this is what we have to exalt. But what you're missing is the exalting of the perfect character that you're supposed to be emulating. You know what I'm saying? That you're supposed to be exhibiting, that you're supposed to be demonstrating towards others. See, a lot of Israelites are wicked as hell. He ain't lying though. And he said, ain't nothing, and it said, and the love of Yah ain't coming out of them. The question then becomes what will ultimately be the point of the 144. You know, that's just first fruits. You know, 144, that's first fruits, man. No, don't delay to give me my first right, niggas. You know what I mean? But I will say this here, man, all jokes aside, it's going to be difficult for brothers to exhibit the love of Yahuwah if the people who teaching them not teaching them that. If they teaching them that it's simply just keep these commandments. But what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Because anybody could say that, but what does that look like in real time? What does that practically, intangibly look like? How am I loving somebody because I don't eat shrimp? I cannot eat shrimp and be the most deplorable, despicable, malicious, spiteful, lustful individual that you've ever seen in your entire life. You know what I'm saying? You can show up to every Sabbath, every week, perfect attendance, never missed a day. Say, I've been in here 15 consecutive years. You know about that? You know how many days that is? That's one after the other. I never missed a day. You know what I'm talking about? And be wicked as hell. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about just completely disagreeable, completely hostile to all the righteousness and the will of God. But some brother be like, that brother faithful. He show up every week. Remember I told you about the dude who wouldn't let the woman talk to nobody in the congregation, and she was getting her back broke by a nigga in her apartment. They think this woman godly. She getting mashed every night. Every night. They don't know it. Because they was like, oh, we got to build with the brother. He got to come through X amount of times. But that's just the service. That means you don't talk to these people outside of here. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know this nigga. Because you sit around with a dude once a week for 2 to 3 hours a week. You think you know him? You ain't called him. You ain't talked to him. You ain't pulled up on him. He ain't came to your house. You ain't went to his house. You ain't go to the gym. You ain't do nothing with this man. You don't know this man. And I'm mentioning that as how people gonna even have that. I don't even know you for real. You know what I'm saying? You think you know him. Nigga gonna put his best foot forward on the Sabbath because he know he wicked as hell when he leave. He said, I work with people think they justified because they work in the hospital, but they got the nastiest countenance. Oh, Lord. That'd be the worst thing in the world, be someone thinking you finna die and you got a nasty nurse. Straight up, though. You know, nasty nurse, nigga, I'm finna die. You be all right. You know what I'm saying? I had a nurse like that. I purposely urinate on myself, make her clean it. Defecate, not do something nasty, you know what I'm saying? Just so you have to clean it up. And when she come in there to clean it up, I say, you see how nasty that is? That's your attitude, ho. Nah, for real though. You want a proverb? I got a proverb for your behind. Just so you can see that, yeah, you see all that feces on the floor? That's your attitude. Yeah, nasty, just like that. You didn't want to clean that up, huh? Man, they left you in the bed like that?
But she was saying, you know, I know
that's in a nursing home. We talking about in the hospital. Ain't no CNAs in no hospital. I ain't never seen that. All I seen was nurses in that home. I ain't never seen that. No, I ain't been. I thought them were nurses. They just had the sorry job. No, I'm being serious. I thought them were nurses the whole time. I thought it was not the you know what I'm saying, not the RN, but the niggas under them, and y'all got to do this. I only thought CNAs worked at the old folks home. I ain't being funny.
They do the stuff the nurses don't.
Yeah. Nurses need the medication. The CNAs change it. So they just gonna send somebody else.
It don't matter. Shoot, if I can get out of bed, I know how to cock and squat right in the hallway. I don't care who clean it up. She gonna see it though. You know what I'm talking about? She gonna understand and feel what I'm talking about. You gonna get my metaphor, ho. That's what you talking about. Somebody gonna understand me today. And I'm calling Ken. Nigga, he ain't even on Channel 12 no more. He's a city councilman. I'm still calling. You know what I'm saying? Things get tough. They tell you call Ken. You know Ken, don't you? You don't know Ken Amaro? You ain't black and from Jacksonville. But you know Tim Deegan knows him. It's like that selling them cocaine. That's why you know that. Come on.
John 17:20.
Listen what it
say, neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word.
Listen.
That they all may be one, as you, Abba, are in me, and I in them.
So they are card now.
That they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that you have sent me. In the esteem which you gave me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one.
Mm-hmm.
I and them, and you and me, that they may be made perfect in one.
Mm-hmm.
And that the world may know that you have sent me and have loved them as you have loved me.
Mm-hmm.
Abba, I will that they also, whom you have given me, be with me where I am.
Listen.
That they may behold my esteem which you have given me.
We about to say what we came
For
from.
you loved me before the foundation of the world.
Go ahead.
O righteous Abba, the world have not known
Righteous
you.
Abba, the world have not known you.
But I have known you, and these have known that you have sent me.
Tell them what known is in Greek. Because we know in Hebrew is yada, which is to know by experience. If you haven't experienced God, how could you know him? And the only way you can experience him is to literally become one with him.
So the nose code, that is to allow, to be aware of, to feel, to have known, to have knowledge, to perceive, to be resolved, to understand.
Well, perceive and understand is part of what the definition of yada is in Hebrew also. Excuse me. But it said they didn't know him. So how can you speak on behalf of somebody you don't know? And that's what you see a lot of people who teaching the word. They're speaking on behalf of somebody they don't know. You don't know this man because the elements of his character are not exhibited from you. So how could you know him? That's impossible. What we was at? Before John said it.
1 Peter 1:20.
We read that already. You can go back to 1 John chapter 4. Read me verse 8.
So he that loves not, know not Elohim, for Elohim is love.
Back it up to 7 there. 1 John 4 and 7.
Say, beloved, let us love one another, for love is of Elohim, and everyone that love is born of Elohim.
Everybody who love is born of Elohim and what?
And know Elohim.
Now you see how you say righteous Abba, they have not known you? Because the love of God wasn't in them. See, now we keep it with the basics, right? You got 1 John 2, right? They say, read that for them real quick. 1 John 2 and 1. People read this particular passage and they think that means, okay, I know God because of this.
Say, my little children, these things write I unto you, that you sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Abba, Yahushua HaMashiach the righteous. And he is the propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world. Hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
See, people hear that and say, see, you know God if you keep his commandments. But now John is telling you that if you love, you know him. So then what does that tell you about what his commandments contain? Now we know what the Lord said was the two greatest commandments. Which what they was, Sim?
Love your neighbor as yourself.
And what else? Now you see how that would line up with what it is to know him. Because if you love your neighbors, you love yourself. Paul let you know that love work what? No ill to his neighbor. You know what I'm saying? And if you love Yahuwah with all your heart, all your strength, all your might, and all your soul, then you're going to love him with a ready heart and a willing mind, which means you're going to do the things that he take pleasure in. And you're going to love him with your complete mind, your complete heart. So therefore, you would manifest what he would want you to manifest, which is love, because that is who he is. That's what he's about. But dudes hear that and they think it's soft. And you know why they think it's soft? Because their mama didn't love them. You know what I'm talking about? I'm being dead serious. Like, people hear love, they think of emotion. And they don't want to ascribe that to the maker because they want him to overcompensate with toughness like they do. Like, he don't have to overcompensate because he know he can murk everybody at his leisure. So I don't have to fake tough. I don't have to be like, nah, I can genuinely say, nah, I love you. Tighten up on your backstroke. Because what we read in Jeremiah before, what he say he gonna draw you with? He didn't say he was gonna draw you with no wrath or no super tough stuff. He said that's what he gonna draw you with. I can do that because he's a kind man. He's not a nice man. And there's a difference. Nice men get walked over. Kind men can extend kindness and then remove it if you don't appreciate it. See, nice men can't do that because nice men want to be accepted, so they will allow continual disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Kind men know that, oh, no, don't take my kindness for no weakness. Don't play with me because I have enough self-respect to say you're not worthy of my kindness, so I'm going to go. And you can deal with that on your own. You have to have a level of self-confidence and self-respect to be able to do that. Something that most people don't have. Boy, you talking about somebody elder, nigga, you dozing off like an old man. You what? No, you wasn't letting you sleep. Hey, I ain't sleep.
Come on, resting my eyes.
I'm resting my eyes. I took a blanket and it didn't open. See, that's right, Ronan. You can't stand up. The pants too tight. You know what I'm saying? All the blood gonna rush to his brain. You gotta let it settle. He's got that. That's why he got that gym shirt on. You know what I'm saying? You know, Monica see he got gains in his quads. I don't know why you do that. You live with him.
compensate.
He got you on that one. I can't take credit for that. You did it to yourself, falling asleep in my classroom. Y'all niggas young and be tired. Man, what y'all got going on, man?
Kids, man.
Nigga, I got kids. Man, y'all niggas used to be falling asleep when I was staying up till 4 days in the morning 6 days a week, man. You niggas y'all gotta do better, man. Stay off the weed, man. That's what he say. Or you up late night drinking some doggone Taylor Port.
Listen.
Man, it's easy to listen when you sleep. You don't hear nothing. So I was listening. What you just said, bed. That's all you got. Come on, man. That nigga in here falling asleep. I don't know how you doze like that and ain't think you were finna get caught. That nigga looking like a granddaddy too. Oh, what's going on? You fall asleep in front of the TV like that, don't you? You just gonna get to bed. Say bump that junk. I paid for this. Go ahead.
We go to 1 John 2.
Yeah. What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? 1 John 4 and 7 one more time.
Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of Elohim, and everyone that love is born of Elohim and know Elohim.
And know Elohim.
He that love not, know not Elohim.
So if you don't got love in you, you can't know God.
For Elohim is love.
Mm.
And this was manifested, the love of Elohim toward us, because that Elohim sent his only begotten Son into the world.
So the manifestation of that love is the sending of his son. What else?
That we might live through him.
That you might what?
Live through him.
Go ahead.
Herein is love, not that we loved Elohim, but that he loved us. He sent the Son to be the propitiation for our sins.
So he sent his son to be reconciliation. This is how he betrothed you to him in loving kindness and in mercy. Go ahead.
Beloved, if Elohim so loved us, we ought also to love one another.
Now think about that, right? Now, if God loved you enough that he sent his own son who he didn't spare, but sacrificed him for the redemption of all, then how difficult should it be for everybody to love each other? You know what I'm saying? And that's the point what I'm mentioning on. I don't see how, and of course this happens all across the world, so it's not emblematic of quote unquote Hebrew assemblies. It happened to Christian assemblies. It happens in a multitude of places. The people sitting around people and you don't love these people. The love of God ain't in you. You know what I'm saying? Like people look at love, man, you got people in your family, y'all don't share the same interest and hobbies. I bet you love them though. People think you got to love somebody because y'all have the same similar interests. No, that just means you can be friends because you can do the same things. I don't think you do the same things with your grandma and granddaddy or your uncles or your aunties or even some of your cousins, because some of y'all probably got a weird cousin who like to do weird stuff. Maybe you got an emo cousin. You ain't into all that. You still love him though. He just paint his nails black and wear different type of outfits and act like he's sad. You want to nigga, why you sad? Your childhood was great. But you still love him though. So then how can you come into something, and we talked about it plenty of time before. How can you say you in Mashiach and when you look at somebody else, you don't see him when you look at them? Ain't that what you should see? Ain't everybody supposed to be one in him? You know, we read that passage in Job every time somebody get baptized. Which one is it?
Scales are his pride.
The scales are his pride, and what they do?
Stick close together.
So no what?
Air capacity.
So no air get in between. And what they call Satan? So how Satan gonna get in between? What Pac say? How can the devil take my brother if he close to me? Most of these people not close to each other. That's how Satan come in and cause havoc. That's all he need is a crack. That's why we didn't talk about this before. That's why he tell you, hey man, if you're gonna be separated from your spouse, make sure you have a conversation. Satan slide through. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell you, you better lead with love in your house, because if you don't, you're going on that another Satan slide through. You go to whispering to you, man, I don't like you anyway, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But that's how dudes hear it in their head though. You know what I'm saying? Girl, he don't love you, girl. That nigga, he don't appreciate you. Oh, ain't clean the house in 2 weeks. She thinks somebody taking her for granted. Your name ain't Grant or Ted. You know what I'm talking about? So, like, cut that out. You tripping. You know what I'm talking about? Because he play on that type of stuff because you might be upset and you didn't have the mental maturity to express it. Now he finna play it up. Look at that. See that nigga over there. He appreciate you, girl. Look at him. He appreciates it. That nigga don't care about you. He want yams. You know what I'm saying? That boy see you and he say, yams. That's the deception. That's the deception. Oh, you thinking she love you? She looking at you thinking duck. Yeah, nigga. Not duck, duck, goose either. You used to play that as a kid. Yeah, now she done tapped you on your head. You chasing this nasty hoe. This hoe finna drain you, boy. And I ain't talking about for no money neither. She gonna drain you for your soul. Then you gonna look up and you gonna felt like you was drained because you had some quarters, but before you going to hell after that. What the book tell you that type of woman is, man? She a deep pit. Mouth wide. Go straight to the pits of hell with it. You know what I'm talking about? And it's not because it's a woman, it's a certain type of woman. You know what I'm talking about? Because any woman with some self-respect ain't fooling with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she ain't fooling with you. But I'm mentioning all that because that's how Satan works. He come in, he'll do the same thing to you, man. If you're going through something in life, man, and you ain't tapped in like you're supposed to, man, God don't love you, man. Go ahead and kill yourself. Yeah, he do stuff like that, man. Go ahead around there and go to that party. Go ahead and do this here, man. That's why you never do what when you weak, Civic? Isolate yourself. That's the worst thing you can do. Because unless you strong like the Lord was strong in the faith, boy, Satan gonna eat you alive. Boy, your boxing skills ain't good enough to get in no ring and dance with this man. You say you like emo, you just not dressing up? Boy, that's stupid. I just referenced that because I know more. Really, I ain't gonna lie to you. I mentioned that because Corporate got a music video and he dressed like that. And that popped in my brain. Because I don't know if a lot of black folks do that. I ain't never seen none in real life who do it. You know what I'm saying? But clearly somebody doing it. I do know a chick who do with all that tattoos and that big old whatever you call that junk, but she got a hole in the ear you can stick your fist through. That junk looks so nasty. And I don't know why these girls walk around here with these septums and they know who look like Bebop and Rocksteady. You know what I'm talking about? That junk ain't cute. That junk is not cute. You know what I'm saying? But if you like it, I love it. So go ahead, man. But no, see, all seriousness though, you got to be on guard, man, because I told you that last night, man. You got to be up on your pimping, man. You can't be slacking on your Mac, and that man coming through. You know what I'm saying? When this man told you to watch and pray, that's exactly what he meant. You know what I'm saying? Because that man is coming. You know what I'm talking about? Now, he can't touch it if you born of the word now. But even with being born of the word, he still can't. He came and tempt the Lord, but he couldn't touch it. That don't mean he ain't gonna come tempt you. You got to be on point. You can't be resting on your laurels and think you good. Say Nefarious depicted that well. It absolutely did. You seen that one? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That junk was wild. And he caught people who were weak. Now, obviously, these were also people who ain't had no word. And it's much easier for Satan to overcome somebody who ain't got no word. You know what I'm saying? But when you got some word, you have to guard it in your inward part so it can guard you. Because if you don't guard it, it can't guard you. Because that boy is coming. You understand me? If they come to Colorado, you'll see tons of our people doing and dressing all sorts. I heard about it though. Them just something different. No, it's a lot of people in Jacksonville on that type of time. They just try to be hood emo. See, they don't want to wear all the clothes, but they want to have the accoutrements and the tattoos. You know what I'm saying? And listen to all the sad music. I told you I ain't listening to no Rod Wave, but he told me all his music saying, I want to ride around, listen to a nigga in pain all day. Yeah, I don't listen to all that, man. Nigga sound like he crying all the time. Man, I seen a picture of Playboy Carter. That nigga had a diamond encrusted lollipop. I said, what is nigga gay? Yeah, that Pad Bocce boy. I don't even know what you call it. We need a new attitude.
These people call. I've been waiting for closest on this type of time, but I ain't gonna look it up.
This dude tattooed his entire. Look at this nigga, man. What's wrong with this nigga, man?
A lot of them popping up.
That's a whole tattoo on his whole body.
They got their whole body like that. They be on some weird type. They be on some weird.
That's all the shoot. That look like emo people.
Okay, I was wondering if that was the same.
Damn, that nigga pants tight. Golly. That white people stuff. Yeah, that white people stuff. You standing outside, man. What you gonna do with your life after you do that? This nigga 75 years old, wrinkled, looking like Larry Holmes, flabby and sick. Lord have mercy. That's why you better protect your children. It's just getting worse out here too. Man, that man, Fat Boy sent me a video of a dude holding the book, and he talking about 14 ain't too young. That's the name of the book, real book. Now, we've been talking about this for years. You know these people been wanting to push to make pedophilia legal. They've been wanting to do this for at least 20 years. Make it legal for a grown man. See, when they talk about pedophilia, they don't want young girls. They're into pederasty, man-boy love. They don't want a young girl, they want a boy. That's the common misnomer. Most pedophiles don't want young girls, they want little boys. Yeah, for real. You know what I'm talking about? That's who they after. That's just weird. But if Fat was something in video, no, that was Nell. Something in video, man. Caitlin Clark on the live stream. She bent down, you know what I'm saying, talking. One of them dyke hoes come up behind her. Boom! She said, whoa, bro, no, I ain't on that. Like, yeah, I tried to stroke her. And one thing, he said it here before, but one thing I know, but they be talking about men, homosexual people are some of the most forceful and perverted people you will ever want to meet, man. Especially, man, you don't even want your daughter playing no basketball, boy. She coming back a bulldog. Because that's all that play basketball is homosexual women, is lesbians. Man, we knew that when I was a man. I graduated high school in 1998. Nigga, almost every girl who played basketball was a bulldog. You ain't never go to no basketball game like, dang, baby bad. Yeah, you do it now. But now, you know what I'm saying? Back then, you like, man, baby look like she'll whoop me. All them girls on Reebok basketball team was dice. Every last one of them. That's why they were balling like that. Man, ain't no pretty girls finna ball like that, man. You might have one or two sprinkled in there. You can't have 6 or 7. That's why they be mad at Angel Reese, because she looked good. And she leaned into that. They like, oh, man, she ain't working hard enough. Because nobody, you got to realize something, man. With most lesbians, man, that's vaginas that nobody wants. You know what I'm saying? That's how I call those middle, you know what I'm saying? Them vaginas, ain't nobody mad like, oh, man, I wish I could have her. Who's mad because they can't have Brittany Griner? Who was really upset that she took herself away from men? Nobody was upset. Nobody tried to turn her back around. You know what I'm saying? Well, like, you know what I'm saying? Now they got Cheryl Swoops, beautiful woman, turned out. She's one of the greatest female basketball players of all time. They called her the female Michael Jordan in her day. Beautiful woman. They turned out she's a lesbian. Candace Parker, beautiful woman. They turned out she's a lesbian now. Yeah, married the old ugly nigga, play that dude. You know what I'm talking about? But then you got to look at it. Who want an old 6'9" skinny woman? Another bulldog. That's who. Make her think the men don't love you. This hoe don't love you either. Bro, I literally watched an article on ESPN where one of the WNBA players was upset because they traded her girlfriend off the team. You got to remember, one of them ladies, I forgot her name. I think she played at UConn in college. She sued the WNBA because she said they get harassed to become lesbians every day because the majority of the league is lesbian. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm shocked Caitlin Clark ain't a lesbian because she could have fooled me. Because that's definitely a vagina I don't think nobody wants. She pale, she funny looking. Sometimes I wonder if she a man. I'm not being funny. You seen that white woman before? Come on, bro. I give it up, and that's why I had to pull back. She from Iowa. I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Shoot, Lisa Leslie said them dice was on her too. Tell you now, don't let your daughter say, I want to play basketball. Just go ahead and get ready. I don't know. She ain't never put it out there. She could have fooled me though. She do. And that would probably make it hard, you know what I'm saying? You looking at her like, damn, am I with Reggie? Do I like Reggie? You know what I'm saying? You start to question yourself.
That's a dangerous spot to be in.
They look exactly alike. And it's not like she got soft features the way, okay, you could tell they siblings. Like, no, she looked like Reggie. No, I should say Reggie looked like her. I think she older. Which means both of them probably look like one of their parents. Because, you know, you got brothers. Shoot, that's what it was with, I ain't going to say their name because I know them people. Yeah, they do look like twins, though. See, they need them looking like a preteen male. My Lord. They definitely, Cheryl and Reggie Miller definitely look like twins, though. You could tell, like, one of them looked like their mama or daddy. I ain't never seen their parents before. But, you know, some little girls look like their daddy, but their face softer. And then some little girls look like their daddy, and it's like, damn, you look like Charles. Like, really look like him. Because I definitely went to school with a girl who looked just like her brother. You looked at her, and you saw him. You're like, no, I'm good. She was fine, but she looked like that nigga, though. I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Yeah, you know, they were trying to turn out Dwight Howard's wife.
Yeah.
It was amazing that he was married to that woman bad. This nigga a whole punk. I don't know how she made. I don't even know how she ain't picked that up. This nigga's a whole punk, man. Well, how you get sued by a punk? For punking activities. God. Go ahead, man.
Say, beloved, if Elohim so loved us, we ought to also to love one another.
What else?
No man have seen Elohim at any time.
Anytime.
We love one another. Elohim dwell in us, and his love is perfected in us.
That's right.
Hereby know we that dwell in him, and he in us, because he hath given us of his Ruach. And we have seen and do testify that the Abba sent the Son to be the Savior of the world.
That's right.
Whosoever shall confess that Yahushua is the Son of Elohim, Elohim dwell in him.
What else?
He is and he in Elohim. And we have known and believed the love that Elohim hath to us. Elohim is love, and he dwell in love, dwell in Elohim, and Elohim in him.
A lot of people don't dwell in love, so that means Elohim can't dwell in them and them in him. Because again, what is it to dwell in love? Is Exodus 34, 6, 7, and 8. It's that simple. If you dwelling in love, you dwelling in mercy, grace. What is grace? It's kindness, it's compassion, it's pity. You know what I'm saying? You know what mercy is? Long suffering is being slow to anger. What did James write you? That wrath work not the righteousness of Elohim. What did Solomon tell you? The anger rests where? So these things are not the righteousness of Elohim. You would be dwelling in love. We read that in Matthew 5. He said he sent rain on the just and the unjust. That man love his enemies. Some people look at that's that Christian stuff and always tend to forget that Yahuwah loved his enemies the entire time. And his enemies were Israel. Because when you had them groves with them sodomites in them, he still loved you. You know what I'm talking about? But dudes don't want to talk about that door. He loved the whole nation of Israel, and they ain't had one righteous king. All they did was worship idols. He didn't kill him, though. He could have did it. You don't even want to talk about what he did with Judah. And we know what he told Judah in Jeremiah. What he told Judah, all they had to do, Sid. You know we got to miss it. Just keep the Sabbath. I won't put you out. And what they did. Read Jeremiah 6 and 16 if this don't sound like a man who loves his enemy. You know why it's hard for Bruce to accept that? Because they don't want to never accept the fact that you were his enemy at any given time.
Thus saith Yahuwah, stand you in the ways and seek and ask for the old path. Where is the good way and walk therein? You shall find rest for your souls.
They said
we will not walk therein.
We will not walk therein.
Also, I said watchmen over you saying
that's good. He said, find what for your soul?
Find rest for your soul.
He said, but we will
not walk therein.
That's why I'm showing love to your enemies. You don't owe that. What about Isaiah 1 and 13? Let's see if that's an example of him loving his. I just wanted to see from a scriptural standpoint why the man saying what he's saying. We've talked about it on an individual standpoint, like David doing that with Saul, and David doing that with Absalom. But now let's take it from another standpoint and look at Yahuwah doing that with his own people. Because he said while we were enemies of Elohim, he died for us. That's what it said, right? I don't think a lot of people look at it, the people as a whole. I mean, you can look at that in Numbers 14. What he said he wanted to do to the people, man. One man. And what did Moses come up and do? He said, please pardon him. And then he mentioned his character. You know, your long suffering, your pardon iniquity. He said, I'm a hearken according to your word. He said, but I'm going to sin. They didn't realize, most people don't realize, boy, your forefathers in the wilderness was a bigger enemy to him than probably anybody in the history of mankind, because they were there with him, watching him work, and went against him. And he still showed mercy to him. People don't realize the mercy was so strong, he was like 20 and older, y'all dead. 20 and under, you good. Who over there salting that baby? Go ahead.
Bring no more vain oblations, incenses, and abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with.
Why?
It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting.
Why?
Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hate. They are trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them.
Why?
When you spread forth your hands,
they full of what?
I will hide my eyes from you. Yea, when you make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood.
Pause. Why? He said your hands are full of what?
Full of blood.
I mean, they full of sin. Because he said when you sin, your what? Your blood be upon you. That's another instance when he said he don't hear the prayers of sinners, but him that do the will of Elohim and worship him he hear. He said, man, I don't want your Sabbaths. I don't want your new moons. I don't want your feasts. And see, some brothers take that. See, you ain't got to keep that stuff. That's not what that man's saying. That man's saying you wicked as hell. And you coming around here in my face, praying to me and doing all this stuff like I want that. I don't want that because you don't want it. And that's hard for people to fathom. We talk about this all the time. You know what that's hard for people to fathom? Because people used to people taking stuff that they don't want and never saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? See, some of y'all done got gifts and you ain't like them gifts and you didn't let that person know that I appreciate the gift, but I don't like this. And you know why? Because you've been told that that's rude. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? That emboldens people to believe that people will take stuff they don't want. You know what I'm saying? So then, because that's what happened with Cain and Abel. He told Cain straight him down, boy, I don't want that. And you knew I ain't want that for you. Man, let me tell you something, man. Yahuwah is not taking nothing he don't want. He want what he want. You either going to bring that or you're going to get rejected or don't bring nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? So he's not compromising. So what he telling them in this Isaiah is, man, you could have kept all them feasts, cuz. You could have kept them Sabbaths, or no, you could have stayed to the house. Because I don't want this here. Y'all wicked as hell, your hands full of blood, and you think you can come around here and think, well, look at them, they showed up though. Oh, hell no. He like, no, y'all gotta go home. And say after all that, he's still showing us mercy to this day. Wow, love and mercy. Amen. Indeed. Absolutely. And that's the point of what the new covenant is really about when he say, I'm going to betroth you into these things. Because it's about righteousness, judgment, faithfulness, loving kindness, and mercies. That is the difference between this covenant and the one before it, because that covenant had none of that to it. I dare anybody to go look at that old covenant and see where mercy was attached to it. I'll wait. Can you find somewhere where mercy was attached to it? Like you have, I'm talking about being serious, not being facetious or nothing. To understand what he say, I'm not making a covenant with you like the one I made with your fathers. Now you're going to have to go back and examine that. When he say, hey, I'm betrothing you in this, this, and this. Because there was no loving kindness attached to that. Why did he come get you out of Egypt? Because what he swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. When he made that covenant with them on Mount Sinai, what loving kindness was attached to that? There wasn't no loving kindness need to be attached to it. You hadn't done nothing against it. What mercies was attached to that? I could give you faithfulness because he said he'll be faithful according to the covenant that he swore. And I could give you judgment. But that loving kindness and that mercies, that wasn't attached to that. You know why I said it? Because there ain't no loving kindness or mercy in the law whatsoever. If you get found to be a punk, what the law say you got to do to him? Ain't no mercy with that. If you get caught worshiping another God, it said, well, if you found your mama doing it, your wife doing it, your son doing it, what he said, you're supposed to be the first one to do. Ain't no mercy attached to that. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the law itself. You have to separate the law from Yahuwah. Because when he declared his name, the mercy and loving kindness is with him. The law is the law. And it say what it say. You know what I'm saying? And I think people have a hard time separating that. That doesn't mean that, oh, when people hear that, what's the first thing they want to say? You telling people not to keep the commandments? Thou sayest. That's what you heard, because you ain't keeping them anyway. Because that's what you wanted to hear. You know what I'm saying? Because people are like, well, if I keep them, I'll get mercy. That man never told you that. You know what I'm saying? That man never told you that. How do we know that? Because you can serve him without a perfect heart. You know what I'm talking about? Your heart perfect towards him, guess what you're going to do? You're going to do everything he say anyway. But if your heart's not perfect to him, you'll do just enough until he tried you. Because remember, he said he tried the heart and tried the reins to give every man according to his work. And you not eating pork ain't trying your heart. And what people like to reference is Maccabees. Man, come on with all that, bro. Ain't nobody finna be trying to tell you if you don't eat no pig, they finna kill you, nigga. And no 2000, get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you know when you get tested, when stuff ain't going your way in life, let me see if you'll keep serving this man with a joyful heart. You know what I'm talking about? So a lot of these people not walking away because they can't eat pork and can't go out on the Sabbath. There's a lot of people walking away because when it get real, when life get real, they don't have nothing but commandments and their nationality to hang on to. They don't have God to hang on to, and they're going to walk away.
I mean, think about the rich young movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't got nothing to hold on to. When that persecution or tribulation come, man, well, you got to have a strong hope in this man promises and word to keep going. Even when, man, the life slapping you here, hitting you with an uppercut here, you know what I'm talking about? You delirious right now. You punch drunk. But all you can remember is he is faithful that is promised. So I'm going to keep going. You don't have that, you be like, man, I'm finna go do something else, man. I ain't fooling with this, man. If he was God, why he got me going through this? How many times you done heard people say that? Whether they in the quote-unquote truth or not. If he was God, why would I be going through this? It's already somebody finna walk away. Because you know what he said in Acts, right? You got to go through what? Much tribulation. But see, we also talk about this, that tribulation is for your purging or for your perfection. And people don't understand that. When it was a purging, get it for me. Proverbs 25. We should say Joseph about 1,000,000 times. Now listen to this here, right? Ruthie. Ain't nobody talking to you, boy. Joseph. Go ahead.
Say, take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness.
Now, when you take away the dross, so you take away the impurities from the silver, now you can be a vessel's meat for the master's use, as he said in Timothy. You know what I'm saying? You have to purge yourself. That's what all that stuff for. And if you don't have no faith, you're not, man, most of these dudes, man, if they would have had to face what the Lord had to face, man, they'd have went back to the house, man. They'd have went back to the house. Who? Die for who? Nigga, not me. I keep the commandment. Why I got to go through this? This is what people say. And you know who all said that? Job. And you know what that show you? What did it say about Job? He was righteous in his own eyes. And that's why he say righteousness is not of the law, but it's of faith. Because now you think you justified in God's eyesight that you can run your mouth against this man when stuff don't go your way. Because that man ain't never promised you was going to have a comfortable life just because you kept his instructions. He said it would give you long days in the land. He never promised you eternal life, though. Not with that first covenant, he promised him that. He said, I'll give you the land in long days. That's what he promised you. And the thing is that people don't sit back and examine exactly what he promised them versus what he promised later. So that you could actually contrast the difference. And then the hatred for the church, you'll ignore or obfuscate or just outright deny certain things that say what it say. Because you think that meaning you got to pick one over the other. One just exceeds the other in esteem. That's what it said, right? Where it said it at? You don't know where it said that. Who know where he said one esteem the other? Where he said it at? Somebody better answer her. Kalisha got to go to summer school for 3 semesters in a row. And she got to sit in the classroom with no AC and one window, the size of a matchbox. And she got to listen to Doris sing while she studies.
What you mean by when you steam up?
Yeah, say one covenant is esteemed over the other.
I remember something similar to like Matthew 6 when he said he can't serve 2 masters.
Well, no, that ain't it. Oh, Kalisha look like summer school is calling for you. And you got, I hope Doris can sing if she don't say it like a screeching cat. You sound like a screeching cat. That's even better. So she can suffer. We're going to make sure you sing nothing but Mariah Carey songs. With the highest of notes. It's not for your shame. It's for her destruction. The destruction of her eardrums, that is. You can tell them you sound like Mary J. Blige in the shower. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, man. Verse 4. You ain't never heard that line once 50 Cent said that? I sound like Luther Vandross in the shower. You ain't never heard that before? Did you hear what he told Missy Elliott put that hot dog down? I'm not making this up. This nigga said this on the record. Yeah, nigga said it on the record.
Missy Elliott was hungry.
That's before she lost all that weight. And they said, put that hot dog down. I'm not making this up. You know what I'm saying? 2 Corinthians 3 and 4. Y'all be thinking I be making this stuff up, but I'm not making this up.
Saying such trust have we through Hamashiach to Elohim, where not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of Elohim, who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the letter, but of the Ruach. For the letter killed, but the Ruach give life. And
that's the difference, because life is with who? Yahuwah. But the law killed them. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the law in of itself don't kill. But we know this from Genesis, because he said, if you eat of this tree, you shall what? And that's the knowledge of what? And what is the law? The knowledge of good and evil. And when he ate from it, he died. Guess what? The law can't kill you until you do what? Once you break it, your life gone. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you kept 611 laws, break 2 of them, and they be under death. You're done. I seen a dude arguing about what's the judgment for eating pork. I'm like, why do y'all even have these type of conversations? You know what I'm saying? You know why do you even have that type of conversation? Because he said pork is what? An abomination. And in Revelation, he say nothing what? So then why would you even participate in something that would exclude you if he said nothing abominable? And when we talk about nothing abominable, we ain't stopping at no porks and no punks. That man said all unrighteousness is an abomination. So you go ahead and chew on that. That man said he find abominable if you shed innocent blood, or your feet swift to run into mischief, or you like to devise wicked imaginations, or you like to have a proud look and a lying tongue. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting in. But guess what? It's easy to talk about pork chop though. You know what I'm saying? And these same dudes will talk all that stuff, talking about, well, brother, where your fringes at? You looked on them fringes and had sex with that man's wife. Look right at him. Took them off your drawers. You seen them when you took your clothes off, nigga. It ain't never click in your mind not to go after your own order. There's something to be damned, though. You know what I'm saying? When you were finna tell that lie, you look right down at them fringes and look me in my face and lied to me. You say Isaiah 66 has a judgment for eating pork, though? It do. You know what I'm saying? Let me say, we have sinned. That's a true story, by the way. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna mess with that man about that. It is a true story. That's just not a random anecdotal statement. You know what I mean? That's right, man. That's a true statement. Dude mashed his old lady, then look in the face. We have sinned. She like, no, nigga, you have sinned. I didn't claim to be on this. You know what I'm saying? That always be funny, dude. Get this woman talking about they on some word. She ain't trying to get on no word. She just wants some wee. And you want to talk to her like we've sinned. No, nigga, you sinned. I never professed to believe in God, sir.
Been a simple.
Yeah, no, but you know, dudes love to pull that one. We have sinned. She like, shoot, I sinned before I got here. But sin when I leave. But you know how doofus you got to be to sit back and know you did something wrong before God and say, I have sinned and pray, then turn around and do it again. Guess what that tell me that ain't? That ain't no repentance. After you got over the shame for the yams, you went back in. Then it's the crazy part. You done ejaculated and be unclean and you finna pray to God, but don't even pray, brother. Just change your behavior. What good was the prayer if you're gonna turn around and do the same thing? And see, it's not the fact that he got the yams. You got the yams with no intent, thought, or plan to marry this woman. You just felt bad in the moment. Then you did it again and again and again and again and again. Then when somebody tell you maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Shalom, Brother Rob, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that think about that, man. You know, I've been told you that. These boys be talking all that talk. I say, but they say, where your fringes at, brother? I say, them fringes stop you from sinning? No. Then I don't want none then. Because I ain't got none on, boy. The word enough can stop me. Why them fringes ain't stopping? You know why they ain't stopping sinning? Because they don't love God. And that's not to ridicule you if you got them on. It's to sit back and say, if you gonna point this out on somebody else and what he say them fringes for, because niggas think it's a dress code. That thing didn't say nothing about no dress code. Did he say anything about fringes being a dress code? He said the fringes had a purpose, didn't he? He said for you to look upon them to not do what? Go after your own heart or whoring. He said to remember your God. I don't need no piece of cloth at no bottom of my shirt to remember my God. Man, is you dumb? Why did I say that? If you can remember the fact that this man was hung from a tree and suffocated to death and was beaten in a fashion that your mind couldn't even fathom, that's enough in itself. But that man say the love of a Mashiach can strain up, because we all judge if one died, then we all dead. So if I've been immersed into this man's death and I died to sin in the world, I don't need no fabric, bro. I don't need no fabric. The word gonna do it. But guess what? Matter of fact, what I got you on?
2 Corinthians, let's go with that.
Pause that for a moment, right? What it is? Psalms 119 and 18? Or is it 9? I figured out. He said, I noticed that some of my brothers and sisters be in that top mood, so they probably justify themselves by the... Yeah, some brothers do be in that top mood, man. I don't fool with them. I just let them have that, because I ain't finna argue with them about it. And I ain't versed enough on it to speak on it either. So, no, it ain't 18. It's 9. Start at 9. One thing I always recommend, gentlemen, if you ain't versed enough on something, don't talk about it. Because you know what usually ends up happening? You run across somebody who is versed enough on it, and they're going to make you look stupid. I told you, man, my big cousin, Shalom, sister, my big cousin taught me that long time ago. Don't talk about things you don't know. You know, there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know nothing about that. I need to research that. I can't speak on that. Just because you got an opinion don't mean you should express it when you're uninformed. That's the height of stupidity. Go ahead.
Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way?
By what?
Taking heed according to your word.
What else?
With my whole heart have I sought you. Oh, let me not wander from your commandments.
Mm-hmm.
Your word have I hid in my heart.
Your word that you did what?
Hid in my heart.
You did what with it?
Hid in my heart.
You did what with it?
Hid in my heart.
That you might not?
That I might not sin against you.
Like, go to Numbers 15 and 37, man. And look what he said them friends are supposed to do. Numbers 15:37.
And you will speak unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Yasharal, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders.
Tell them what generations mean. See, people see throughout their generations, and remember, it's two words for generations: Tola, death, and Doré.
Yeah, this one's Doré.
That is a period of that's a period of time. So that's not continual. Because if it would have been continual, guess what word he would have put in there? Everlasting. You would have had Olam. You know what I'm saying? He say for throughout their what?
Throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe that you may look upon it,
That you
remember all the commandments of Yahuwah and do them.
Pause. He said, so you're supposed to look at the fringe to remember to keep his instructions. And what else?
And that you seek not after your own heart.
And that you seek not after your what?
Your own heart.
And what else?
Your own eyes, after which you use to go a whoring. And that you may remember and do all my commandments and be Kadash unto your Elohim.
But guess what he told you in Ezekiel you was going to need to do? Make you a new heart and a new spirit. Then guess what he said the comforter of the Ruach HaKadosh would come and do? Bring to remembrance everything I said unto you. Then guess what he said in the new covenant he would do with his word? He would write it where? And in your inward parts, in the best part. So now you no longer need to look on a fringe to remember to love me. My love would be in you. And how would my love get in you? Based off the love that I showed you by a man laying his life down for his friends. Which goes back to what we were reading in 1 John 4, which goes back to how he betrothed himself to you in the first place. Or what we read last night. He said, you were forsaken in mercies, but now I'm going to come get you because I love you. Hold on. He said, like they looked on that serpent in the wilderness. Absolutely. Said Nehemiah is a white Karaite. He actually taught that the Talmud was crap in 2011, 2012. But he owns something different now. He actually reads the New Testament. Oh, I know a Karaite right now that read the New Testament. He don't believe it though. But he versed in it. You know the sad thing I ever seen, man, is dudes who don't believe in the New Testament that know it better than dudes who do. And that's sad. That's real sad. You know what I'm saying? To say the least. Now, you heard what he said them fringes was for. It's for you to not go after your own heart. So if you got them on and you can still sin, that means that, and then on top of that, if you think looking down on a piece of garment is going to perfect you, you are an idiot. You know why? Because you're taking God out the equation. The fringes ain't the perfecter, Yahuwah is. Once you learn that, guess what you can do? You can overcome anything. Because guess what? Your forefathers had fringes on their garments and Kings and Chronicles and all them books. And guess what they were doing? They had fringes on in the book of Ezekiel when they had their backs to the temple worshiping the sun, man. You know what I'm talking about? When Jeremiah said they were all naring at their neighbor's wife, all them boys had fringes on. And you know the first thing people want to scream, well, Christ wore, and you think he was looking on them to not sin? Because he said his flesh rested in what, Sid? That he wouldn't suffer his Kadash one to do what? So that's why he pushed and endured. Look at that. When that man was exceedingly sorrowful unto death, you think he looked at some fringes? See, these boys looking down when they should be looking up, and that's their problem. They ain't looking under heaven where their help come from. That's why these boys, because I don't even understand how these boys talk all that talk, got them fringes on, sin every day. I ain't never understood that one. And guess what they do? That's what you know what them IUIC boys like to. Matter of fact, when I was out there with you, when your mans was gone by the time I got there. But they brother was like, where your fringes at? You know what I asked him? I say, man, I tell you what my friend is at when you answer this question for me, right? I say, what did Yahuwah say about Abraham in Genesis 15, right? What did he say about it?
He believed in Yahuwah, counted to him for righteousness. And
he counted it to him for righteousness, right? I say, my nigga. I say, what fringes did Noah have on? I say, and what fringes did Abraham have on? And what fringes did Jacob have on? I say, matter of fact, what fringes did Joseph have on? Which ones did they have? They were stuck. He didn't know what to do with that. I say all those men are determined to have a memorial of being righteous. You can read it. You know what I'm saying? I say they didn't have them on. I say, would you call them wicked if you would have seen them? He was stuck. He was stuck. I'm mentioning that because before the advent of it, you had godly men who had a declaration of righteousness where no fringes existed. So that means fringes ain't needed for you to keep the instructions. You know what's needed? A heart to do it. That's it. That's what's needed. That's all you need. That's all you ever needed. You think that man care about that? That man ain't care about the animals. Say brothers think compulsively and not in the spirit. He said, is wearing a fringe a law? I mean, do you see it in Numbers? He gave them an instruction to do it. What precipitated it, at least in the narrative of doing it, when they found that man picking up them sticks. Because right after that, that's when that instruction was given. But it's more so, Rohan, that brothers say it's a dress code. Like Yahuwah doesn't have a dress code. Like these dudes that say you got to wear your garments, brother, and not look like these are strange. Shut your stupid behind up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like when Achan got caught, he didn't get caught because it was a Babylonian garment. He got caught because he said, "Don't touch nothing here." You know what I'm saying? Man, Joseph was in Egypt wearing Egyptian garments the whole time, man. But these stupid niggas think Yahuwah looking at heaven. Look at this nigga dressed like a Gentile. Man, you got to be stupid. That man don't care what you got on. Just have something on. Nobody want to see your butter behind. That man don't care if you got a t-shirt on. He ain't care if you got a suit on. He don't care because he ain't looking at none of that. Because what did that take it to? Man look at the outward appearance. Yahuwah look on the heart. You looking at the outfit, but you wicked as, you Hebrewed up. Got a nice garment, huh, brother? Change the name and everything. You still the same nigga you wore before you started. But you'll look at this man with a t-shirt on and some shorts on, and you gonna say, matter of fact, bump that, a suit on. Cause these boys be like, oh, he got a suit on. He's all in a monkey suit. He more righteous than you though. But you don't like the way he dressed. You know what I'm saying? Make lame as hell. He said, what it was the design of the garment in general. It was sewn to the clothing. But they wicked, so I don't even really care to talk about it. See, they've been raping women since they got into it. My Lord. You say compulsivity related to anal retentive qualities, a control issue. Yeah, a lot of dudes really just be wanting to dictate to people. I told you last night, man, I ain't got time for that. I'm not finna be trying to control and chase after nobody. The standard is the standard. You can meet it or you don't. I'm not finna beg, chase, cajole, or do none of that, man. Like, it ain't even that serious. You know what I'm saying? It's not even that serious. Because truth be told, and we've always operated like this here, man, and I'm not talking about the minutia that people be arguing and fussing about. Man, if you hold to a standard and people you know you hold to a standard, people will leave on their own when they don't want to meet. What's your deal? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to put nobody out. You ain't got to force nobody out. We ain't never had to tell nobody to leave. They left on their own because they'll come up with a reason. I don't like him. I don't give a damn, nigga. I like me. You know what I'm saying? So why care if you don't like me for? You don't like me because the nigga don't co-sign what you own. You know what I'm saying? And not that it's like you berating somebody, but they already know you not going to co-sign what they own. You know what I'm saying? When somebody know you not going to co-sign what they own, then they're going to formulate their disdain for you in their mind because they know they can't bring this to you and you're going to stamp it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what most people want you to do. I'm in some folly, stamp it. And if you won't stamp it, then they'll realize, well, if I don't like the rest of them because they know, guess what y'all not going to do? I ain't stamping it. You know when people stamp stuff? When they in folly. So I need you to cover up my folly and I'll cover up your folly. And that's what you see going on. You know what I'm saying? And like before I was even in the word, I noticed once I got in it, okay, like why dudes don't talk against being ungodly and just being faithful to God. The preacher can't do it because he ungodly. So he can't hold himself, he can't hold you accountable because he ain't holding himself accountable. Because before he even started serving work, he's supposed to have himself clean. And I learned that early being in this here when I seen that dude from GOCC make that video say he was knocking down other men's wives. He admitted he was doing it. And I was like, are y'all still gonna keep listening to this nigga? Now this is like 2009, 2010. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing personal against him because I don't know that thing. You know what I'm saying? But them videos been gone. They been took him down. But yeah, man, he had videos where he said, yeah, I'm having sex. I'm wrong. And I'm like, this man ain't supposed to be no pastor no more. And they was like, nah, brother, we all fall short. I'm like, nigga, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Like, I think I ain't even been in the word good 6 months yet. I had more better sense than that, though. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear that. Nah, brother. No, I say, but that man's supposed to be clean before he started. That's what this book say. Now, listen, man. This is not he had sex with one man's wife. Several. Like knocking them down. Nigga, this ain't bowling. You know what I'm talking about? Bro, you know how wild you got to be to sit and listen to get some word from a man you know he done slept with 6, 7 different brothers' wives, man. That nigga can't teach me nothing. You know what I'm talking about? I left first day. And we wasn't doing nothing. Like when I first came home, my homeboy, we watching these videos so I could see their doctrine. You know what I mean? And you can learn these dudes teaching in 60 days. That's how I knew God wasn't with him. 60 days, nothing new. Same old. Man, everybody want that. Not loose loins Larry. Woo! But listen, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. A dude can do that when ain't nobody gonna tell him he's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mentioned to you about Puff. Puff could move the way that he was moving because no one was ever gonna tell him he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the people, they may have been willing participants, but they felt like it was something to get out of it, even if deep down, I don't really want to do this. Because ain't nobody going to look at him and tell, oh, nah, bro, I'm not doing that with you. You walk in there, man, there's butt naked men in here. I can imagine you thinking you finna go, I'm nigga, I don't even want to go to no junk, man. You talking about we finna have an orgy. Oh, I'm good, bro. But I look like want to be in a room with a whole bunch of butt naked grown folks for, man. Nigga, that's not no fly junk, nigga. You niggas nasty. Like this before the word, like, oh no, I'm good on that, bro. Man, I do not want to be butt naked in the room with another man, bro. Especially not while they hunching. But niggas think that's some fly junk. So when you walk in the room and you see all these butt naked adults in here, you supposed to be like, no, my nigga, man, when you brought me around here for this, come what you want? Because you supposed to take that as disrespect. Like, because you supposed to have a conversation to make sure I'm on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to make sure I'm on that type of time. Like, hey, boy, you know I'm into some freaky stuff. What you mean by that? You know, we be having orgies and whatnot. Oh, no, I'm good, bro. I ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? So when you don't do that and I walk it, oh, so you think I'm a old sweet nigga, huh? Now, you got to shoot me a fade now, bro. But put your clothes on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't fighting no butt naked man. You know what I'm talking about? Put your clothes on. Yeah, put your clothes on. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? But all seriousness though, like, but you got to look at it that way though, because that's disrespect. But when somebody sees something like that and they know it ain't right and they don't tell him that, guess what that make him think? Everybody on that. So that strengthens you. Like we talk about Ecclesiastes 8:11 all the time, because the sentence against the evil work is executed speedily. It's privily in the hearts of the sons of Adam to do evil. Guess what this lets you do? I can do it again. I can do it again. I can do it again. And this is why he can exploit and do people like that. But like we were talking about a couple weeks ago, man, it ain't no different than in no church or no congregation, camp, whatever you want to call it. This man been doing what he want to do for years. And ain't nobody said nothing to him. So guess what that get him in his mind to do? I can do whatever I want. So when this grown man come out here and tell you, yeah, I've been having sex with all these men's wives, and the people still stay there, guess what I tell him? I can do whatever I want. I can come on, man. You seen Gorilla Hebrew man get put out there for taking a facsimile phallus in his anus. Nigga still fool with it. Man, I'm not fooling with you after that. Not about no words, no disrespect. But bro, I can't take you seriously after that, bro. I can't read a text message that say, you can't hit me with a penis bigger than I hit you with, and I think you finna teach me some words, bro. Like, that's not being funny. That's just real nigga activity. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not making this up. This is real story. I'm not making none of this up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga really said this. Can you imagine your dude telling you you can't hit him with something bigger than he hit you with? That means you hitting him. You know what I'm saying? And then you supposed to teach me some word after that? Come on, bro. You can't teach me no word after that, bro. Not after that. Come on, bro. It's one thing like you going through some things. How'd you get to that? I say that because too many people in the word will overlook stuff like that. I told you, the dude got locked up for not taking care of his kids. You a leader of a congregation, bro. How you go to jail for that? You not supposed to go to jail for that. Guess what nigga talking about? You need to hear the other side. I don't need to hear nothing. I know what I do need to hear, not him. No, but you know what dudes take that stuff being said? Personal. No, this is my soul, bro. This is my soul on the line. You know what Ezekiel 14 say? Man, they say the punishment of the false prophet gonna be the same as the person who seek unto him. So I'm gonna go to hell for listening to you. I came around here looking for you. Nah, cuz I got dip. I can't go out like that. You know what I'm saying? And you have to approach your whole life like that, not just with the preacher. Man, that friend, that family member, that man, that woman, man, you ain't worth going to hell for. How many of y'all going to jail for, nigga? By some junk that ain't got nothing to do with you. He trying to pull you into a crime, and you know, boy, we get caught, boy, I can catch a dub. You ain't doing that, but you gonna let a nigga pull you to hell, though? Because we all fall short, man. I ain't trying to hear that. I've been to prison, man. You don't want to be there. You don't need to go to hell to know you don't want to be there. You want to know if you don't want to be in hell? Cut your stove on and just stick your hand on it. Leave it there for about 10 minutes. I guarantee you'll find out real fast you don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? So then that means you don't need to let nobody pull you there out of some false humility, because that's fake humility. We all, nah, man. Hey, brother, you need to take that up with God. Prayerfully, He forgive you. But I got to do what's best for my soul. That's it. It's nothing personal. People take that stuff personal. You know what I'm saying? Man, I ain't going to hell for nobody, not even myself. You understand what I'm telling you? Not even myself. What does that mean? He said you got to take up your stake daily and deny yourself. So that means you can't even let yourself take you to hell, man. So if you ain't gonna let yourself do it, why you gonna let them do it? That's not. You know what I'm saying? That just don't make sense. Because I believe there's a correlation to them in Isaiah 32 and Numbers 9. Yeah, man, Jeremiah 31 and 30. That's right, every man got to die from it. Get that Jeremiah 31 and 30. Now, I'm just saying that to consider, just like we were talking about last night. Every day is a special occasion, so you want to maximize it. So that means every day this man allow you to be alive and you say you a servant of his, that's another day you can get stronger in the faith and perfect yourself. And you going to let somebody throw you off of that? So you can seem like you being merciful. You saying I'm not co-signing what you got going on is not being unmerciful. It's simply not, nah, bro, I don't rock with that. I don't have any mercy. You didn't. This is the same thing we said the whole time that stuff we're going with Gorilla Hebrew. Like, bro, where's the mercy at? What I'm showing him mercy for, he ain't sinned against me. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't do nothing to me. Ain't no mercy for me to show him. That ain't mean I'm finna walk around here and be like, you going to hell, you wicked bastard, but I'm not co-signing. Come on, bro. You can't co-sign what he, but people don't know how to make that difference. And you know why? Niggas not used to being held accountable for their conduct. So they think when somebody is not co-signing what you're doing, you castigate them, you vilifying them. You know, no, I'm not doing any of that. Vilifying you was saying you a punk faggot. You're homosexual. That's vilifying them, man. That's unnecessary. You know what I'm talking about? The behavior, oh no, bro, I can't co-sign that. If you're gonna lead the congregation, show us doo-doo stank in the sky blue, I can't stay around here. It's nothing personal, bro. If you need me, you can. That doesn't mean I'm not your friend. That means I can't cop from you no more. Because I already know, like, you don't got the recipe to drop the 28 in the 4. You don't know how to whip it no work. You've been serving us water whip the whole time. Because you're not gonna tell me God sent you while you were bent over, nigga, hitting you in your butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, you couldn't convince me God sent you, and you doing that. You couldn't convince me God sent you, and there were 7 brothers in this congregation, and you know you got authority over these people, and you know how people look at men in authority, and you use that to your advantage to sleep with their wife. You're not gonna tell me God sent you, bro. You're not gonna tell me that. Because if you feared and loved God like you said you did, you wouldn't even put yourself in a position to even do some junk like that. Hey, boy, I love you, boy. If you ever need me, boy, my number the same, my nigga. I fool with you. But I don't fool with you like that, though. And that's that simple. I'm out. Man, you can't play with your soul like that. You crazy as hell, man. You let these goofy niggas tell you supposed to sit around there if you want to. I've been telling you that for 10 years plus. Not me. Yeah, that was Ezekiel 14 earlier. Go ahead and give me Jeremiah 31:30. You taking that, baby?
Say, but everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eat the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge.
Everybody got to die for their own sin. I'm not going to die in the sin. Case in point, H.A. whole family died in that sin he had going on. All them people fooling with Korah died in this sin because they ain't separate themselves from him. Because didn't Moses tell them that? Hey, boy, separate your houses from him. You better get away from him. It's going down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's serious, man. That's serious. That ain't nothing to play with. But people play them type of games all day because it's virtue signaling. People, listen, man, when you a sinful nigga, you got the virtue signal like that to make yourself feel better when you get caught. But you know what could be easier? Don't do nothing to get caught, nigga. And you ain't got to worry about it. You nigga crazy, man. That was earlier this year. What is it? July? This happened like March. Man, that junk went on for months too. Dude in his congregation put out so many videos about this man being a super freak. Got tired of hearing that junk, man. I told y'all about it. I just ain't mentioned the dude's name, but I'm not. Everything I just said, I ain't make none of it up. You know what I'm saying? Grossly appalled. This man actually bought a pegging kit with tithe money. Now, can you imagine giving a man money for working for God and he buys a facsimile phallus with it? You know what I'm talking about? Huh? I ain't got to throw nothing. Because just like my dog say, don't be upset you gave him the money. You know what I'm saying? But what you got to do after that is what you need to do. Because see, if you gave him the money with the thought and intent that this person's work for God, then you did what you were supposed to do on your end. You didn't get got because you were performing your service to God, not the man. That's what people get the game twisted at. You weren't preferred. If that man did ungodly with it, guess who that fall on? Now you know, I could have kept my money. No, you did what was right before God. So he'll take knowledge of that. Now, I'm not saying just giving this man money is what you're supposed to be doing, but you understand what I'm saying. Because that's what people's problem is. It's not the fact that you gave him money, that you need to give money to wicked niggas. You know what I'm talking about? You should have made so, but there's no way you could have known that. That's just a different level of perversity. So let me say that. You know what I'm saying? I'll take this no way nobody could have known that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you were directly involved. It was worse than that, though. Because he liked to watch his old lady get hit by white men. I'm not making this up. Come on. And she got pregnant by a white man. Yeah, it was bad, bro. It was bad. Had all the Israelites on the internet upset.
She was part of the congregation too.
They were his old ladies. It was his wives.
I know she stayed at the house or something.
Well, a lot of them have multiple wives, and them women don't necessarily live with them.
But still, you know, we did last week.
Hey, I'm just telling you what we put out there, man. I don't know the gentleman. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't nothing about him personally, but the works are atrocious. And one thing he never did was call them women a lie. That one thing, boy, my homeboy used to say that all the time. Nigga say a whole bunch of stuff about you, and I'm listening for one thing. Nigga, you lying. You know what I'm talking about? Well, you don't hear that? That nigga did that. Because depending on what it is, that's the first thing coming out somebody's mouth, boy. Hey, boy, don't be lying on me, boy. Or I ain't did that, boy. You a whole lie. And you know how black folks get when they feel like they lied on, man. You don't hear none of that? That's the first thing I was looking for when come up. Boy, please tell me they lying on you. You know, because that's not something you want to see. Some people be wanting to see people fall. I ain't even on none of that. Some stuff is like, okay, bro, please, that's what you got. Please let this lady be lying on you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, getting pegged is a different level of like, come on, man. Because I can't respect you as a man after that, bro. Because you a different type of freak. You a freak I don't want around me. Because all y'all been friends with freaks. You might have been the freak. Nah, yeah, you look a little vanilla. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know they did, and I know they had evidence on it. I seen it. That nigga old lady gave my homeboy all the evidence to the niggas in the crew. They gave it all up. We seen all of it. It was bad, bro. It was bad. And it's not the fact that it's this man, it's that you're a preacher. You can't be a preacher and do that, bro. Ezekiel 14:7. Oh, my bad. That be the problem. That's why I mentioned that, and it's that they preachers, bro. You can't say you represent Yahuwah and do that. See, that's Diddy party perversion. They definitely was cracking jokes about that too.
Say, for every one of the house of Yasharal or of the stranger that sojourn in Yasharal, which separate himself from me and set up his idols in his heart and put the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and come to a prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I, Yahuwah, will answer him by myself. And I will set my face against that man and will make him a sign and a proverb, and I will cut him off from the midst of my people. You shall know that I am Yahuwah. And if the prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, Yahuwah, have deceived that
I
person.
lied to him.
And I will stretch out my hand upon him and will destroy him from the midst of my people Yasharal.
What up?
And they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seek unto him.
That's dangerous, bro. That's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Now, like the Lord told you, the scribes and Pharisees sit at Moses' seat. He said everything they tell you to do, but don't do after they works. So your discernment and you got to be on point, man, because this show, at the end of the day, man, your soul on the line. And you're going to have to answer for that yourself. Your husband's not going to answer for you. Your mama's not going to answer for you. Your wife not going to answer for you. Your daddy not going to answer for you. You're not going to answer for your children. You're going to answer for yourself. So you got to make sure that you are very, very proactive. Remember what he said, those men were more noble than those in Thessalonica because they searched the scriptures daily to see if those things were so. You shouldn't be learning a word from nobody and just sitting there bobbing your head to the beat. You better make sure it said what he said it said. You better make sure that what he communicating is what this word is communicating. You better make sure the points that he referencing is the point that God wants you to have, that the understanding that is being given is the understanding that comes from heaven. That's your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? And guess what you're supposed to do if you don't understand, Sylvia? And if you got a man who got a problem with you asking the question, then God ain't son of Mama Steph was talking about this the other day. Read 1 John 4:1. She kept asking people this and they didn't want to answer. And she kept asking what this looked like. Listen to it.
Beloved, believe not every ruach, but try the ruachs whether they are valahim, because many false prophets are going out
And
into
the
the
first
world.
place you're supposed to see that at in the prophets is with Jeremiah and Hananiah. Because what was the prophecy that Jeremiah gave to the children of Yasharal, to the children of Yehuda specifically during his time? What did he tell them was going to happen to them? They were going to do 70 years in Babylon. What did Hananiah come around there and tell them people?
He said they was gonna do a short period of time.
He said they would only be there for 2. You know what I'm saying? But you have to test that prophet to see if he what does test that mean? To prove, to try. Man, if nobody who worked for God will be offended if you tried them. Man, how many times they tested the Lord and how many times did he get offended? I'm talking about the people, not the scribes, because they were being wicked. They were trying to catch him up in his speech so they can have by means of accusing him. But how many times did this man get offended because somebody tried him? Never. He invited it, didn't have a problem with it. You know why? Because that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know if I'm supposed to believe you because you told me you were.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the woman at the well, she like, I perceive you must be a prophet.
Yeah.
She was trying.
She was testing it. Because how do I know? Man, anybody can say they come from God. And you know in 2025, what nigga do? He said he from God, so he must be. Because if he wasn't, why would he have said it?
Face value.
Face value. Yeah, he said he from God, bro. You know him? No, I don't know that nigga. The reason I'm mentioning this here because in Paul write about that, he said, you know my what? Manner of life. So that means you rounded. You can see the proof of his faith and his behavior. You know what I'm talking about? When you see that what he teaching, you can verify that what he teaching, he represent that. You can see it in his behavior. And that's how you would know. Didn't Paul say, you seek proof that I'm an apostle? That means they were testing it. Did you hear him get mad? Well, he trying me. I told him I wasn't a man. Nigga get mad. You gonna try me? Talking about I said I was a prophet. I told him I was he ain't no prophet then. There's no prophet would be upset by that. No apostle would be upset by that. They would know I need to show for what he told Timothy, right? Timothy, a minister. He said, study to show yourself what? So that means so people can know God sent you. See, that's not a blanket statement for everybody. That's for a preacher. Timothy was a preacher. Paul's writing to another preacher. He telling him, study to show yourself approved as a workman. So that means that the people who coming to you, they need to know God sent you, and this is how you can prove that to them. So they know, okay, the word of God with him. You know why that's important? Because you got these people life in your hand. Read 2 Timothy 2:15. And a lot of brothers don't realize that, man. It's not just as big as, we teaching, woo. Nah, but you got people life in your hand, bro.
Study to show yourself approved under Elohim.
Pause. Tell them what approved means, man. Now, the one that's the blanket for everybody, that's Isaiah 34:16. Seek out the book of Yahuwah and read. You know what I'm saying? Or what Revelation say. Blessed is he that read and keep the prophecy of this book. You know what I'm saying? But that one, that's for a preacher.
That's dokimos, properly acceptable, approved, tried.
So this is somebody who's been tested and approved and acceptable to God. The people don't get to make that determination. Because he's telling them to study to show yourself approved. Well, who is he approved by? The people don't get approved did the people get to approve Moses? Did they get to approve Samuel? What about Jeremiah? They didn't get to approve none of them. But who did though? So you need to know, okay, God sent him. Go ahead.
Say, Bush. A workman that need not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Tell him what a workman is, because you should remember, what did the Lord say? The workman is worthy. And he said, if you receive those that I send, because he said, because we read it earlier, he said, I will give you pastors according to my lab who will give you knowledge and understanding. And a lot of these dudes, this man ain't hired these people.
Ergotates, a toiler, a teacher, a laborer, a workman.
So that means he has to study to show himself approved as a teacher. So how can you be a teacher of the word? Bro, I literally listened to my dog debate a dude. I ain't gonna call his name. He kind of well known. I ain't gonna do him like that. Man, bump that joke. That nigga Deacon the car, man. That nigga was debating my dog Gadol yesterday, man. Gadol say, man, you know this in Ezra and Nehemiah, you know what this nigga said? I don't know. Read it to me. How in the hell? I'm talking about in the boo hell, like white people like to say, that you don't know this and you a teacher of the word and you don't know what the word say. This man a teacher of the word and he didn't understand what a covenant was. Bro, you know how dangerous that is, bro? Like, that's no disrespect to him, man. Man, ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna be like, if say this in Ezra, and you like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if it said, read it to me. Bro, you've been doing this for a decade. Bro, I was disgusted when I heard that, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was disgusted, man. Because there's no way in the world you are a leader of a congregation teaching people and you got lives in your hand and you don't know the word. I ain't saying you got to be able to recite back every book, chapter, and verse, but you should be familiar enough to say, oh, you talking about such and such story, woo, woo, woo. To say you just don't know is egregious. It's unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. And guess what that showed me? You ain't approved. You know what I'm saying? Your doctrines don't prove if you approve. That's not what he said. He said, tell him what study is, man. But that's like serious, bro. That's right. He gave some apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors, some teachers for the perfecting of the saints in the work of service. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think a lot of brothers also miss. This is a service job. Well, you ain't no different than the lunch lady, man. You know what I'm saying? You used to go, you ain't from here. You used to go to Piccadilly, boy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you ain't no different than the people at Piccadilly, man. What you need? And put it on the plate and give it to them. You ain't no different than the server at the restaurant, man. You making sure you facilitate the need of the customer. Because that's what you there for. Because remember, the Lord said he did not come to be served, but to serve. It's a service job. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of dudes forget that because they allow themselves, I ain't even going to say this, the people allow these people to exercise overreaching authority in their lives. You know what I'm talking about? The authority of a preacher ends where the congregation door stops. That's where it stop at. He got authority on how the assembly is run. That's where his authority stop at. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got no authority over you, or you, if it's not inside that assembly. Like what I mean by that is we say, hey, brother, I need you to do 1, 2, 3. He got authority to send you to do that. As it pertains to the Lord's business. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, that man ain't got no authority to tell you to do nothing. Only thing he can do is hold you accountable to the word. That's it. But guess what? You don't need to be a preacher to do that. You should be doing that anyway, because the book say don't suffer no sin on your neighbor. He said, you just, hey, look here, you know it. You know how I'm finna say it too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have mercy on Goldie. So me and Goldie used to crack that joke all the time. You cannot walk into McDonald's and start dropping fries and think you're going to get a paycheck at the end of the week. You don't work here. Ain't nobody got your social security number. We ain't got no W-2 on you. Don't nobody know who you are. You just a nigga in the back dropping fries. You know what I'm saying? And now you talking about where my money at. Well, nigga, who is you? And guess what the Lord say? Who are you? We were just talking about this yesterday. He said, depart from me, you work of iniquity. I never knew you. I don't know you. For sure, Rohan, man. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's just serious, bro. And you know the biggest thing I've seen since I started running across Israelites on the internet, they tell every man who find out he an Israelite, it's your job to push this truth. Stop telling people that. No, it's not. What if that man ain't a preacher? What if he ain't got the heart for it? People could get confused with teaching people the word and bearing witness to the greatness of Yahuwah. Those are two different things. I would tell everybody to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because he tell you that in Chronicles. You know what I'm saying? Man, proclaim that man goodness everywhere you go. Sing his praises everywhere you go. There ain't nothing wrong with that. When you talking about digging in the word, man, that's some skill, boy. You got to be trained for that. That ain't no light matter, because guess what? You teach one thing wrong, boy, you could damn a whole multitude of people. But giving his praise and esteem and letting people know the greatness of Yahuwah, oh, I recommend it. I recommend it wholeheartedly. You know what I'm talking about? Why wouldn't you do it? Let me find that in Chronicles. Where you at with it?
That word for study is spadazo. That's to use speed. That is to make effort, to be prompt or earnest, to do or give diligence, to be diligent, to endeavor, to labor, to study.
Got to be diligent in what you're doing, man.
That makes an effort. And
the thing is everybody don't want to make that effort in that because it's going to take away from other things. And a lot of people want to keep doing what they do. And I ain't mad at you per se. You get too hot. We finna get ready to wrap up in a second. I'm right here. First Chronicles 16 and 23. First Chronicles 16 and 23. Now listen to this here, right? Sing unto Yahuwah all the earth. Show forth from day to day his salvation. Declare his esteem among the heathen and his marvelous works among all nations. For great is Yahuwah, and greatly to be praised. He is also to be feared above all gods. For the gods of the people are idols, but Yahuwah made the heavens. Glory and honor in his presence. Strength and gladness are in his place. Give unto Yahuwah, you kindreds of the people. Give unto Yahuwah glory and strength. Give unto Yahuwah the glory due unto his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Worship Yahuwah in the beauty of Kadash. And drop down to verse 34. Is that what we need? I might skip over. Now come over here. I did skip over. Look at verse 8. They said it's the first psalm David ever wrote, right? Give thanks unto Yahuwah, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the people. Sing unto him, sing songs unto him. Talk you of all his wondrous works. You know what I'm saying? That's different than preaching some word to somebody. You know what I'm saying? He said, make known all his wonderful works. Speak of him, esteem him. Everybody should do that. You know what I'm saying? But when you talking about, because the preacher was wise, he taught the people knowledge and found out acceptable words to be like Ezra. What type of scribe Ezra was, Civic? That ain't for everybody. What's a ready scribe, Civic? That's a skilled man. Yes, it said the Great Commission was for apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, not everyone. I keep saying that. And that's why he took 11 apart and not say it to the whole multitude. Indeed, And people think because we in the word, we all need to preach to the nations. But most of us are not ready and able to do that. And indeed, Brother Marcus, it's a continuous work. And everybody ain't ready. Everybody ain't supposed to do it. Because what he said, you got to be faithful. That don't mean that there's nothing wrong if you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? You just have to get trained for it. Man, everybody don't want to do that. Because guess what happened, man? This is something I told my homeboy years ago that he didn't take heed to. You know what most people want to do? Preach the word and go home. They don't want to deal with nobody. They don't want to deal with what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what his job entails. You got to deal with you. In Numbers, it said that the Levites had to carry what? More specifically, the sons of Aaron. The burden of the tabernacle. You know what I'm saying? So when you in that position, guess what you got to carry? The burden of the tabernacle. That means you have to lift up and carry the burdens of everybody in it. And you got to be a certain type of individual to do that. And everybody not that type of individual. Doesn't make them evil. Don't mean that they anything other than they're not the type of person to do that. See, everybody wants you to think you're supposed to teach. But what if you don't know how? Matter of fact, who taught you? You thought you learned because you watched the nigga YouTube videos? Well, you don't know how to. Now, if I put you in that kitchen and drop that beef on that stove and that baking soda in this work, now whip that up for me. You don't know what to do. You looking like you trying to figure out how to do that. You trying to figure out how to cook that up? You know what I'm saying? You got to be like little Doug, man. You got to let it glob and lock. You know about that? You don't know who that is? Little Joe, you don't know who that is? Yeah, they killed him. Look at you. You know some niggas from Jacksonville. Yeah, you was probably climbing out that window to go to his concert. So you ain't ever go to no hood concert?
Not a hood concert. I went to see Kodak. Is that count?
So you like to go to drug concerts? No, man, you put somebody in there and say, okay, whip this up. Meaning, break this verse down for me. With no help. You can't do it.
That's what rightly divided. And that's to make straight cut, that is to dissect or expound correctly the divine message. To rightly divide. Rightly divide,
say me to do what with it?
To dissect or expound correctly the divine message.
You gotta cut that, you gotta cut it up right. I remember one time I caught some work for some dudes in Picketville. That boy was like, oh, this nigga who think, because I had customers waiting. You know what I'm saying? My nails were way longer than what they is now. So I could just take, you know what I'm saying, this nail down here and cut them pieces up, pop, 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 pop. They ready, boy, because it's just gone as soon as I leave from here. You know what I'm saying? But because I was hustling on the beach, you know, they ain't really respect dudes from down there like that. I'm like, bro, I'm not from down there, but then my niggas know. I hustle down there though. But once he see me, he said, oh, you a professional, huh? I say, shoot a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? Like I know what I'm doing. I give you an example, right? Should we use a verse everybody use? I'm gonna give you the first time I talked to a dude. This how we got down with our people in Detroit. Because somebody was saying that God taught him. I say, you an apostle, huh? I say, break this verse down for me. Judges 14 and 12. I say, break this down for me. I say, tell me what this means. Because if somebody say they're an apostle, you saying God taught you and man didn't. So when we gonna put you to the test. That's what he said, right? Test the spirit. We'll test it in. So we tested it in. That when my dog after that, he hit me up, he said, man, I've been trying to understand what this means for a minute. That's how we got down with Quad Tribe and all them. Because of me testing the nigga by this verse right here.
And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you.
What's that riddle?
If you can certainly declare it within the 7 days of the feast and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. But if you cannot declare it me, then shall you give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments.
That's right.
And they said unto him, put forth your riddle that we may hear it. And he said unto them, out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle.
He said, out of the eater came forth what?
Came forth meat.
And out of the strong came forth what?
Sweetness.
I say, bro, tell me what that means. Cook that up for me real quick, my G. Guess what? He couldn't cook it. He couldn't cook it. Y'all remember what it means? Now, if you look at this and say, out of the eater come forth meat. You go back and remember he said, My flesh is meat indeed. He say, and the life that I will give is my flesh. That's what the man said, right? But then at the same time, when he sat down at meat with them on the quote unquote Last Supper, what he did? Take, eat, this is my body. So out of the eater came forth meat because he partook in his own. But he said, out of the strong come forth what?
Sweetness.
Now you remember what Ecclesiastes tell you about sweetness in the word? You remember what Psalms 119 tell you about sweetness in the word? Tell them what strong mean by definition. This is the abridged version.
That's strong, vehement, harsh, mighty, power, strong.
Oh Lord, I ain't gonna be able to do that. My back hurt bad on the left side. So him that is strong came forth sweetness. You know what I'm saying? And he said the word was like what? Honey to the taste. How did it describe the manna? Sweet like honey wafers. And what did he say? Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. And you know, this was a parable to Passover. And I think it was around Passover time when he gave them this riddle. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he couldn't, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't run it down. Let's give another one just on the strength. You know what it is, Sid, because I referenced the abominations earlier. 24 and 16. Proverbs. Ruthie, you look like you catching the attitude. I don't like it. Now you want to cheese. That's all you and your friend Joanne like to do is catch attitude. And I don't like it. Go ahead.
For a just man falls 7 times and rise up again, but the wicked shall fall into
Now,
mischief.
I'm going to mention, I think I told you this other day, the inspiration for that verse, that nigga died earlier this year. Died from cancer. You know what I'm saying? Old, nasty, perverted, dirty dog bastard. I say that because he was incarcerated at the time of his demise for molesting his daughter's, his wife's daughter. But he got caught sending penis pictures to multiple women. You know, he was supposed to be in the word, and that's what he came with. You know, a just man falls 7 times. My spirit was enraged. And then we dropped that. You know, all came to my mind right then. This is November 2014. You know what I'm talking about? Now, most people tell you this verse means, oh, you sinned, and now you got to get back up. That's not what that means. That's not what that means. And it actually contains the loving kindness and the mercies, and the faithfulness is actually contained all in that verse. But do him a favor and read Proverbs 26 and 23 and listen to what that's saying. I went to this one here because I mentioned them abominations earlier, so that's all great.
Say, burning lips and a wicked heart are like a potsherd covered with silver draws. He that hate dissemble with his lips and lay up deceit within him.
Listen.
When he speak fair, believe him not.
When he speak what?
When he speak fair,
what did Judas say to the Lord when he seen him? And greeted him with a what? He said, when he comes speaking fair, he said, don't believe him. Go, why?
There are 7 abominations in his heart.
Now, see, this is where you have to know the word. He said there's 7 abominations in his heart. So what you think these 7 abominations are? You think Solomon just randomly saying this? Now go to Proverbs 6 and 16. No, before you even do that, go to Job 5 and 11. Now, this is a part of the faithfulness because you know Joseph fell into this by his brother's hands. And then, of course, that led to him going into the pit, which, of course, led him to prophesying to the quote-unquote spirits in prison, him being raised out of that pit and sat at the right hand of Pharaoh, which is emblematic of what? The Lord gets sit down at the right hand of his father, because he said, at my whole realm will you be ruled. And he said, at the name of Joseph, every knee gonna bow. That's what it said. Go ahead, Job 5 and 11.
Say, to set up on high those that be low, that those which
did he not set up on high Yahushua when he was made low? Did he not say if you humble yourself, you'll be what? Exalted. Go ahead.
So that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. He disappoint the devices of the crafty.
He disappointed. Remember what Joseph told his brothers, what you thought to be for the evil ended up being for good, saving many souls alive, pointing to the loving kindness and mercies that would come later, because that was the loving kindness of Yahuwah to save all them people from famine by giving Joseph that dream. and having him be in that prison with that man at that time to communicate that with Pharaoh, to put Joseph in second in command, which is literally showing you the aspect of Yahusha. That all you were finna die from famine, not famine of bread, not famine of corn, but famine of the word. So I send him to you in this famine to be able to deliver you from this sure destruction that will come in your way. Go ahead.
He disappoint the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He take the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong.
So you know how he took the wise in their own craftiness with this one, where they say, let his blood be on our children's children. Go ahead.
They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night.
Dang.
But he saved the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty.
Come on.
So the poor have hope, and iniquity stop her mouth.
Poor have what?
Have hope.
And iniquity do what?
Stop her mouth.
Sin is put to death.
Behold, happy is the man whom Elohim correct. Therefore despise not you the chastening of the Almighty.
Why?
For he makes sore and bind up. He wound and his hands make whole.
So do.
He shall deliver you in 6 troubles.
Even?
Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch you.
And 7 there shall no what?
Evil touch you.
Now, what are these 7 troubles? Tell them what trouble mean right now. What is that? What did that mean?
That's Sarah, adversity.
Adversity.
Tribulation.
So,
trouble.
7 types of tribulation. So then go to Proverbs 6 and 16.
These 6 do Yahuwah hate, yea, 7 an abomination unto him, a proud look.
Pause. Now we read John 11:45 with that because we talked about wicked imaginations last night. So they had a proud look. How did the scribes and Pharisees have a proud look? Because they were always arrogant towards this man, and each time he showed mercy to him, even when they didn't deserve it. What's the next one?
A lying tongue.
And you know they lied on the man. What's the next one?
And hands that shed innocent blood.
And he said, why? I mentioned this last night. He said, don't shed the blood of this just man. I had dreams because of him. And what did Pilate do? Well, what has he done? He said, I'll give you somebody else, but leave him alone. They shed innocent blood. What's the next one?
A heart that devised wicked imaginations.
Well, we read John 11:45 where they devised the wicked imaginations because they put a plot together to kill him. Then you read Matthew 26 and they say, hey man, Judas, what can we give you to give your master of? What's the next one?
Feet that be swift and running to mischief.
And they were quick to run to go do it. And what's the next one?
False witness that speak lies.
And then they brought false witnesses in Matthew 26 and about 59 to say that this man said he would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days. And what's the next one?
And he that sowed discord among brethren.
And then they tried to cause the people to turn against him. This man hate all these things. And guess what? Yahusha fell into all those things. And that's the just man falling 7 times. Because what's that word for fall, you remember?
Cast down.
No, I'm talking about the word itself, man. I ain't say the definition. It's in the fall. And it means to kill or to be cast down. So did he not fall into these 7 troubles? But he quam or rose again. So in that faithfulness, because he's faithful to what he said his father said him to do, because he said in Matthew 16, I got to suffer many things of the scribes and Pharisees and be killed and rise again the 3rd day. Well, what you think the many things it was that he was going to suffer? Innocent blood being shed, a proud look, a lying tongue. You know what I'm saying? You had to devise that wicked plan. And then your feet were swift to run into it. And you always got to watch niggas who want to sow discord. You got somebody who in the word, man, they want to turn people against somebody. That's not of God. That's all Satan. You can't read nowhere in the word where any godly man was trying to set godly people against each other. You're not going to find it. That's Satan. And that's what it means, like, you got to know God. You got to know his character. Does he even operate like that? He's the God of what? Reconciliation. Not separation, reconciliation. We have the ministry of reconciliation. So why would he want to have people chiefly separated from each other? You would need to know. That's Satan. Because to separate people from each other, guess what you got to do? Got to whisper. And that's what devil means. And you got to slander. Yeah, that's not what you want. But let's finish 2 Corinthians 3, man. That's enough. But that's what it is using that up. That's what you got to look at. A lot of people can't do. Now, also, granted, most people don't believe that the whole Old Testament is bearing witness to the Son of God. So you also have that. That's the one going to make it extremely difficult. Because somebody said that to me yesterday. Not like directly to me, but while we were having a group conversation. Because lady was saying, Why y'all jumping over here? Because she was reading Paul's epistles for a particular point she was trying to make. And I'm like, baby, to be 100% honest with you, Matthew 13 say every scribe which is instructed in the kingdom of heaven is like a householder, bringing things out of his vessel, things new and old. So the reality is a skilled enough scribe should be able to teach you Genesis to Malachi, from Matthew to Revelation, without ever going into Genesis to Malachi. He should be able to teach you the Old Testament from Matthew to Revelation without you ever walking in there. And they should be able to teach you Matthew from Revelation, from Genesis to Malachi, without ever going into the New Testament one time. And if they can't do that, then they're not skilled. Because that's the standard that the Lord said it. That's not the standard I said. Absolutely. And look at, man, do you understand how intensive that is? Because he said every scribe that's instructed. So that means that man had to be taught how to do that. You just don't wake up one day and say, I've been studying for a long time, I got something to say. That's how people feel, man. That's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize what you're doing. You're not only saying, I'm about to dedicate myself to the service to my God, but I'm going to dedicate it to the service of God's people. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not ready to carry that burden, I wouldn't recommend it. Because that man going to hold you accountable for everything you taught and said, man. And I don't think people realize that. He ain't going to give you a pass. Go ahead. Where you at with?
I think the last thing I read was verse 6.
Go ahead.
Say, who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the letter, but of the Ruach. For the letter killed, but the Ruach give life.
That's right.
But if the administration of death written and engraven in stones was esteemed,
how much more?
So that the children of Yasharal could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses for the esteem of his countenance, which esteem was to be done away. How shall not the administration of the Ruach be rather esteemed? For if the administration of condemnation be esteemed, much more do the administration of righteousness exceed in esteem.
You see how he's telling you that if the service of the Ruach is greater than the services of tables of stone, which of course I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago. You see the difference in the new covenant in law, because they broke the first one, and what Moses did with them 2 tables of stone, he threw them down and broke them. Well, why did he break them? Because they broke the covenant, and Yahuwah told them, come up there and what? Make them again like you did the first time. This is showing you that the covenant ain't, the foundation of the covenant is not changing. But the difference between that covenant that was made the first time and him telling them to make the other one is he proclaimed his name the second time. And he let you know what was going to be a part of that new one. Mercy, grace, long-suffering, goodness and truth, mercy unto thousands, and forgiving sins. He didn't proclaim. Did anybody ever notice he didn't proclaim his name when that first covenant was joined before they broke it? He never did that. But when they broke it, he did that. You know what I'm talking about? And then Moses' face was shining, so it was showing you what would come. And that's letting you know how the new excels the old, because the new has something the old don't have. I hate to say new and old, but you basically broke a contract, so let me renew the contract, but in a greater fashion than the contract I gave you the first time. But the tenets of the contract are the same. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how people get in. Well, the new covenant, this is gone and this is gone. Man, that man ain't never gave a damn about no bulls and goats. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really care about you washing yourself and doing all this type of stuff. He said, just obey my voice. That's it. You know what I'm saying? He keep it simple. It's really, really simple. Just do what I tell you to do. Trust where I'm leading you and believe what I'm telling you. So, hallelujah for y'all, Sean. We're starting at about 6 o'clock in a minute. We're about 20 minutes later.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Just don't call me late for dinner, baby. But hey, I appreciate y'all. Big shout out to the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Just general knowledge, September be here for you know it. For Trumpet's Atonement Tabernacle. So, yes, sir. So be advised, I ain't got to go into no detail because you know what I'm talking about. But what we got going on for atonement from year to year, make sure you have your stuff prepared a little bit early if you could. You know what I'm saying? Make it light on yourself versus waiting up to that moment. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, mentioning that don't mean that you will make it light on yourself, myself included, because you know you get caught up. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really, because it came to my mind. I already know what I'm desire to do. What I got in there, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and basically too, if we could get it out ahead of it and get it packed and stacked and ready to go, it can save a little bit of time on the back end when the day comes. You know what I mean? Now, of course, will it flow like that? God knows. But if we could get out ahead of it, I know the ladies would appreciate it. Except for Kalisha, we don't care if she did. Amen, brother Margaret, man. Love you too, bro. Be safe out here, man. Shalom, Craig, man. Shalom, Rohan, man. So, yeah. You know what I could. Amen. Shalom, Eric, man. You know, when I get off this screen, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think if Muffin them gone here, I think she say the numbers the same, but if you could just remind them, just go ahead and remind them. You know what I'm talking about? No, I'm talking about just for posting purposes, so nobody can claim that it wasn't provided. So, yeah, man. Yes, man, Mika, you who are brute. So, y'all willing, man. Again, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. Amen, man. Hold it down, Ernest, man. And y'all willing, man, to the next one.